How do I see the chat? This is... Okay. I have to do it on my computer. I don't know how to tell if somebody's watching. Well, okay. Well, I see a little thing that says 5 people are watching. So, as you can tell, this is the first time I've ever done a live. Thought I would try something a little bit different. I get a lot of people that ask me a lot of different questions, and thought, what better than do a live Q&A? You guys can ask me whatever you want, and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. If I get a question that I can't answer, then I will do my best to find that answer and get back to you guys. Bruce Almighty, good afternoon to you too. Shoestring Trucker, how you doing? From North Carolina. So the reason for this video was so that you guys can ask questions if you want to become a Walmart driver, if you used to be a Walmart driver and you're curious about what's changed. There were a lot of drivers that left Walmart. I don't remember what year it was, but it was about 5 to 10 years ago. There was a new CEO that came in, changed a bunch of things. Some guys lost their jobs for cell phone policies or just didn't like the way things were going and the changes that they had made. And we've had a lot of those guys coming back lately. We've had a lot of owner operators who can't deal with the prices of the market right now. And they've switched to Walmart and they're loving it. Jeff S., how you doing? So we get a little bit of everything. We get outside carriers that make the switch. They're like, hey, I'm at the Walmart all the time. I might as well become a Walmart driver and just work there. There's lots of reasons why somebody might come to Walmart. The pay is excellent. I mean, you're going to make a minimum of $100,000 a year. Shoestring, you're looking to go to Walmart at 56 years old. That's not a problem. In my class, when I went through 2 years ago, I believe there was a guy in his 60s who was an owner operator and said, hey, I want to work for 5 or 10 more years, and decided to come to Walmart. You're going to make $100,000 a year on a W-2. I know some of the owner operators go, I can make more than that. Sure, I'm sure there are a lot of owner operators that can. In this market, maybe not. Maybe you can if you've got your ducks in a row and things are right. But you also got a 1099. You got to do your own taxes. You got to do your own exemptions. There's a lot of things that goes into that. And just by talking to other drivers that are owner ops, they're like, hey, if I can go make 100 to 110 grand a year on a W-2 and everything, be taken out of my check and I don't have to worry about nothing, and the workload is way less and everything else, why not make the switch? The benefits are amazing. You get a 6% match on a 401k, dollar for dollar, no 50 cents up to 3%, all that. It's dollar for dollar, goes into a traditional or a Roth. The insurance is cheaper than, it's half of what I was paying. Same policy, pretty much. Blue Cross Blue Shield, almost the exact same coverage. When I was a Teamster in Chicago, I was paying twice as much than I'm paying for the same family policy here at Walmart. The 15% stock purchase that they give you a discount of 15%. Buy something and make a 15% investment right off the minute you buy it. The Walmart stock does that. And then, of course, it tends to go up. And then when they split the stocks and they're back down to whatever they are and they go up again and again and again. I mean, you invest 10, 20 years here. I have been told by several Walmart drivers that if you give Walmart 15 to 20 years and just do the basic investments, you should have a portfolio well over $1 million when you retire. Some of you know I had bariatric surgery. I'm only a year out. I've got another year to go before I get to my goal weight from what they tell me. I'm currently down 160 pounds. Walmart paid for the bariatric surgery. I couldn't get that surgery with the Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance when I was a Teamster. I had to pay for the insurance, or I mean the surgery, because they didn't cover it. So there's so many reasons why Walmart is a great company. Is it perfect? No. But if you guys can find me the perfect job, okay, we'll all go. I mean, there is no such thing as a perfect job. Is this the perfect job for me and my family? Absolutely. Whether I want to run 5'2", 6'3", 6'2", 5'2", 5'3", if I want a day off, I just call and use my PTO, and I've never once gotten an issue. This week, it might be a little difficult if I was to say, hey, can I have the day off? I'm sure lots of guys have got insurance already in, geez, what is with the insurance? They've already got their scheduled vacation, so they can't use the PTO if I wanted to or whatever. But it is what it is. I've already got my vacation scheduled for this year, and I'm saving my PTO for that. Anyway, so I did see a couple questions. And again, I've never done this before, so I'm hoping everything is working well. If you guys video is coming across clear, if the audio is coming across clear. But I did see a couple pictures or a couple a couple of questions pop up, which are on the screen. So if you guys see me looking down, it's because I'm reading something that I saw pop up on my screen up here. So, Jeff, can I explain the dispatch typically works regarding timing? I think you're talking about an ETD. When you know when and where your next load is. Okay, so that's a good question, and this is one that I get a lot, and this is basically an ETD question. I've actually thought about doing a video of grocery versus GM because your ETDs are going to differ depending on where you go. And I'll explain both. And I'll start with grocery just because that's where I'm at and it's the easiest. And then the little more in-depth answer is the GM. So with grocery, let's say you start at 11 o'clock at night like I do. On your first night, you'll set that ETD for 11 o'clock, which ETD means estimated time of departure. It's not estimated time of delivery or whatever other people think it might be. So it's estimated time of departure. So when you leave, you'll check out and say, hey, I'll be back in 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, whatever your comeback day is. They call it FLW, first load of the week. You'll tell them, hey, I'll be back. So let's say Monday, just to make things simple, Monday at 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's easy because they do everything military time. So 11 o'clock in the morning, that's when my ETD is set for. So you come in Monday and you want to be there by 9:30 or 10 because you got to get your paperwork. You got to plan your trip, figure out where you're going. Road construction is crazy this time of year. So you want to plan your trip, figure out how long it's going to take you, all that kind of stuff. And you have until 11 o'clock to depart the yard. Now, when I do that, I do not they're going to want you to put an ETD for the next door. When do you think you're going to depart the next door? And you're supposed to update that as you go. I don't do that. And I know I'm kind of telling you against Walmart policy. So if you come to Walmart, they're going to teach you differently. Keep this video in the back of your mind to come back to and reference it. And I'm going to change the description later, and I will put timestamps of when I explain things so that you guys can just jump right to that question because I'm not here to try to make you guys watch long videos. I'm here to give you the information and get it to you as fast as I can. Anyway, so you're going to depart at 11 o'clock. You get to the next door. They're going to want you to set that ETD as maybe an hour and a half or however long it would take you to depart that store. The problem is I don't know traffic. I don't know weather. I don't know how long the store is going to take to unload or for the drop and hook to take. I don't know if I'm going to run into some sort of an accident on the highway. All these things that could totally change those things. So I set my ETD for the next day when I set my first go out at that point in time. So what that does is, because when you set an ETD, if you tell them I'm going to be leaving this store, or I'm going to be back at the DC in 4 hours and I'll be ready to leave in 5 and I've got so many hours, whatever it is, they're going to want to try to put something on you. Well, if you run into a problem, those ETDs are going to change as you go. And then you've got to call and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to make that one. And now it's a hassle for them. So I don't do that. So I set mine for the next day. I know I've got 3 stops. Like I said a minute ago, I figured out my paperwork. I figured how long it's going to take me to complete everything, what time I'm going to get back on the yard, and I figured out about how many hours I'm going to have when I get there. When I get done with that last store, I then put in the correction. I will be back at DC 7055, which is Gas City. I will have 5 hours left to drive. I'll have 63 hours on my 70, and I'll have whatever. That I'll leave the gate at we were 5 hours, 5 o'clock that afternoon. Because I want to give myself time to get back. I want to give myself time to drop that trailer, get my paperwork, get my next trailer, and get off the yard. I usually give myself an hour to do all that. If I leave 15 minutes early, so what? As long as I don't leave late. That's the only thing they don't want you to do. And even leaving late with an ETD, it is not the worst thing in the world. You just need to make sure you make your deliveries on time. If you're doing meat and produce, has to be there by 6 a.m. Most stores. Some stores are different. If you're doing frozen and dairy and deli, or what they call FDD, it needs to be there by midnight. And if you're doing a dry grocery or remix drop and hook grocery, it has to be there by 10 p.m. So as long as you're not late with your loads, Walmart's not going to micromanage you. Walmart's not going to be looking over your shoulder. You're not going to be getting phone calls. Let me rephrase that. Where I'm at in my area of the Midwest, you are not going to have these issues. I am not saying that there is a problem in California, but every complaint that I have ever had about being micromanaged has come from a California DC. Take that for what it's worth. So I set my ETD, I give myself an hour, and so now I've got 4 hours left, 5 hours left, whatever I've got, 5 o'clock, that's how I set my ETD. They only give you something that you can complete in that time, and they give you plenty of time to do it. If I tell them I've got 8.5 hours to do something, this just happened on my go-home day. Normally on your go-home day, they don't even give you that. They give you like a half a day of work. But we're kind of busy with the 4th of July. Groceries are going crazy. They had a frozen dairy load that needed to be taken care of, and they gave it to me. And so I had to go to Dearborn, Michigan with that load. And I said that I had 8.5 or 9.5 hours, and that run takes about 6 hours to do. So they give you 6 hours of work. And I told them I had 8.5. They gave me 2.5 hours of buffer in case there's traffic, weather, accidents, construction. I get lost, or maybe there's a bunch of vendors in the dock at the time that I get there and I have to wait a few minutes for Frito to get their truck out of the way or whatever. Now, that being said, when you show up at a Walmart store, the policy is supposed to be anyone not in a dock waits. You take priority, do what you need to do, and when you leave, then they resume their deliveries. If they're already in the dock, they have to finish up. You usually can just go in and say, hey, I'm here with your frozen dairy. You guys got a couple trucks here. Anybody about to leave? And saying it nicely, I guess, kind of sort of passively aggressively, just be, hey, I'm checking in. They get the message. And if there's somebody, hey, can you guys move? We got this guy here. And they'll do their best most of the time to get you in. Now, when it comes to GM, this is a little bit different monster. This is where ETDs really, really matter, because when you're running GM, you are basically running as if you are an over-the-road driver. This is where maybe I could see guys getting micromanaged a little bit, but I ran GM the first 6 months that I was at Walmart, and I never had an issue. Never got a phone call, never got a message saying, hey, where you at? When you going to be? Blah, blah, blah. I've never had any of that. So what the deal is with the GM is you're not going out and coming back to the DC like with grocery. With grocery, you go out, you drop, you hook, or you deliver, and you come back to the DC. When you run GM, let's say it's Gas City, let's say it's Monday, let's say it's 11 a.m., just like the other scenario, they may have a load for you going to Indianapolis, Indiana. I'll just use big cities because if you guys are watching this from around the country, you might not know where Danville, Indiana is. You might know where Danville, Illinois is, but Danville, whatever. So they're going to send you to Indianapolis with a drop and hook. So you go to Indianapolis, you do the drop and hook. When you leave, you need to set an ETD for that store. Let's say it's store number 1663. That's not even a right number. I just threw out a number. But let's say it's the store 1663. It takes an hour and a half to get there from Gas City. You're doing a drop and hook. So let's plan for a half hour for drop and hook. So it's going to be a total of 2 hours. So you will tell them your ETD will be 1 p.m. or 1300, and you're going to be at store 1633 or whatever the number was I came up with. By the time you get to that store, they will have something for you to take, either an empty trailer from the GM side or a set of pallets. And the pallets will go to a pallet center wherever they take the pallets of the area that you're going to. Some of them, they go to the DC. Some of them, they go to a pallet repair, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but they go wherever they go. Or you'll pick up an empty, and they may send you to a DC to drop that empty, pick up a load somewhere, and take that load to maybe Nashville, Tennessee. You put in an ETD when you get done with that load. You'll kind of plan again. Plan your route, plan how long it's going to take, plan your time at the store, figure out when you're going to depart and how many drive hours you're going to have left. You'll put that ETD in, and then you'll just continue doing on the way. If you have a 10-hour break up, you will set that ETD for the Nashville, Tennessee store at 11 a.m. the next morning, because that's probably going to be close to how it works out. If you've got a couple hours left over when you get done and you want to roll it back to 9 a.m., go for it. That's not a problem with the GM side. They don't like you rolling your hours back on the grocery side because they have set guys planned for meat produce, set guys planned for frozen dairy, set guys planned for grocery, and they don't want you rolling your clock back. But when you're out on the road, you set your ETD for what your ETD is. If you want to take that extra 2 hours, set your ETD for 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now that they may have an issue with, I don't know, but as long as you're not being egregious with your times, don't think they're going to say too much. Why would you need a 12-hour break instead of a 10? I don't know, but hey, maybe you're not feeling good. Maybe you're going to be close to home and you need to do something. Maybe you live in Nashville and you want to do a doctor's appointment that morning and you need that extra 2 hours. That's not a problem. If that's what's going on, you just let Walmart know. Call, the Rock or the dispatch, or your home dispatch, whatever, and they'll put a note in the computer, ETD set for this time because of this, or whatever. Walmart is extremely forgiving for those kind of things. I've done it. I've used them. I've been in those situations. Let's do not disturb. We don't need all that crap on there. Sorry about that. I needed to throw my do not disturb on. Great. All right, we're having fun here. Let's try this again. Sorry about that, guys. Phone fell out of the holder. Nope. Cancel that. All right. So anyway, so that's the deal with the ETDs. That's what you're going to do. Where did my mouse go? Oh, on the floor too. So hopefully I answered that question the best I could. I know I rambled a little bit. Yeah, shoestring trucker with 30 years, you're going to have plenty of time. You're not going to have any issues, I wouldn't think, as long as they have a big need where you're going and you're not stuck in like 1,000 people applied for 10 driving spots. You shouldn't have any problem. Bruce Almighty, staying positive about the plan with Texas opportunities. I haven't heard anything from Texas, guys. They had a couple spots earlier in the year, and I think they've got a couple right now. I don't remember exactly where they're located. Let me log in real quick and see if I can see if there's anything recent on the Walmart stuff. But yeah, if you're going to Florida or Texas, hang on to your hat because it's tough to get into those two states. A lot of people will relocate for the 1 year and they will then transfer to those locations because that's how they get all their drivers in Texas and Florida is they all transfer in. So you may need to do that. Walmart. I'm going to log into my actual job portal and see if I can see anything new that has popped up that may not be out on Indeed or the workforwalmart.com or any of those kind of things. All right, what was the next question while I'm logging into that? New Albany, Mississippi is accepting transfers. I do not know how to tell you when a transfer is available because if you're already a Walmart driver, the only thing you can do is log into your workday and look and see. Now you can possibly, this is something I was just told by my boss the other day. If I have any questions about an opening at a location, instead of calling the recruiter, I can actually call that DC. So if you know the DC that you want to transfer to, call that DC and talk to the transportation HR manager. That person will be able to tell you almost anything you want to know about what could be coming down the pipeline before it even goes public. You can be prepared and ready for it. Warne and Schneider is out of there at this time. That I don't know. I do not know when a location is going to get rid of the outside carriers. Michael says it's really pixelated. Hang on a minute. I think I know why. Yep. All right. Let's see if that takes care of things. I didn't realize I wasn't on my Wi-Fi. I was running off my cell phone and I'm down in the basement in this old studio. This is kind of like the control booth, as you guys can see some of the sound stuff. We do vocals and stuff in here before I made that game, and now I've got boxes and boxes of that game in here. That's where I store them at. So hopefully that fixed the pixelated. It looks better on my screen down here, so hopefully it looks better on yours. But when they're getting rid of outside carriers is a place-by-place process. I do know that in Garrett and Auburn, Indiana, they got rid of the outside carriers maybe 6 months ago, because I actually ran up there for a short time. Wow, that does look a lot better now. Hopefully that fixed it, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know when it don't. There's no timestamp, so I don't know when you said that. But anyway, so they got rid of them not too long ago, and then they started hiring a bunch of Walmart drivers to basically take over. And now they're putting millions of dollars into the facility because there's currently a Sam's Club DC in Indianapolis that is cold storage. It's a Americold facility. They're going to be, I don't know how long it's going to take, probably a couple of years, but they're going to be taking that down, and that Sam's Club frozen grocery warehouse DC is going to become Auburn Garrett, Indiana, up between Coldwater and Gas City. And that'll basically service all of Michigan and things like that. So when they're getting rid of the drivers at that location, I couldn't tell you. HR might. They may say, oh, we've got a projected date for a year from now, 2 years from now, or we're in the process of doing it right now. I have no idea. But I was told you guys can call the DC. You can Google Maps, pull up the phone number, and get a hold of them that way. I think I'm caught up on the questions. Something else I wanted to let you guys know is I have been told that you will not find view message for review. What was the review? Oh, yeah, we can show that. Brooks was just thanking me for answering his email, which, guys, if I apologize if I don't remember your names off the top of my head. I've got a spreadsheet right now with 268 names, I think it is, of guys that I've talked to this year alone. Now, those are not all referrals. God, I wish they were. I think I've gotten 16 referrals this year, which is a lot. Not complaining. I'm just saying that I only on the spreadsheet write down guys that I might need to keep in communication with. If somebody just says, hey, I've already got a referral, I just need the pre-trip, I send them the pre-trip. I don't add them to my spreadsheet because I don't need to worry about them. But if you guys say, hey, I've only got 20 months experience, what can I do? Or if you've got questions, or you go on my spreadsheet and yeah, no problem, Jeff. So I put you guys on my spreadsheet and maybe remind myself to try to get back to you, or find out the answer to your question, or whatever the issue is. So that's why there's 260 some guys and only 5% of them turn out to be referrals. South Carolina, funny you said that. I was kind of got off track, but I wanted to let you guys know these are not on the internet. They're not going to be on the internet. I talked to the recruiter in that area, or talent acquisition agent. I always forget that their technical title. It's like guys that work at the prison. When I worked in Westville years and years ago, I was an officer. I was not a guard. Some guys get bent out of shape about that. But anyway, so the talent acquisition agent that is in this area, I spoke to him, and he said if anybody is looking to come to these locations, you need to apply somewhere. First off, let me know. Apply somewhere else, and then let me know your information. And what I need to know is your email address you used on the application, the name you used on the application, and the location that you want to go to from this list. I will then get a hold of the agent, let them know all of your information. He will pull your application, and then he'll get a hold of you, and you can go to one of these locations. And those are, some of these are, I think one South Carolina, maybe North Carolina, but they're kind of around the southeast corner. Brundidge is, I believe, Alabama. Douglas is Georgia. And Douglas is the one where if you're trying to get into Florida, that's where you need to go. You go to Douglas, run there for a year, and then transfer back if that works for you. Lagrange, not sure where Lagrange is at. That might be one of the Carolinas. Shelby, which I think might be South Carolina, might be North Carolina, I'm not sure. And then Pageland, I believe, is North Carolina. Maybe, I don't know. That might be south as well. I just wrote down what he told me. Brundidge, Douglas, Lagrange, Shelby, or Pageland. If you are interested in those, you'll know where they're at. Again, you need to let me know. Shoot me an email, which my email will be in the description below. It's in the description of all the videos I do. Send me an email, let me know all that information, and I will forward that to Alex and let him know, hey, this guy's looking to go here. This is the information he gave me. And the place you applied, which I don't think that matters as much because he'll look up the rest of the stuff and he'll pull your application to the location that you want to be in. Again, those are not going to be on the internet. He just told me he has a couple spots available and they don't have a rec up for them at this time. Maybe the rec expired. I don't know, but told me to let you guys know that. I was going to do a separate video for that, but you guys will get it firsthand because I may not get that video until next week. I'm going to look at possibly buying a camper today when I get done with this here. So, let's see. Anything else you guys are curious about? There is a possibility that I'm going to be doing a pre-trip video for those of you guys that are looking to come to Walmart and you haven't gotten the pre-trip yet. By the way, I have a pre-trip guide that I created when I went through class. I am now a mentor at Gas City. I'm not a CDT yet, just a mentor, which means if somebody comes in, somebody said they were going with their mentor, Teddy, is going with his mentor next week. So basically, that's just a guy. He's not trying to teach you how to drive. He's not trying to do any of that. Basically, he's only there to help you get used to the Walmart process. You know, we use in transit, and that is basically Walmart's system for how you get around and do things. You know, how you set your ETDs, where to go with paperwork, where the stores are at, tricks that you may need to know, like, oh, hey, this store is backwards and you need to make sure you do this. That's what the mentor is there for. He's not there to bust your, well, I've been told mentors are not meant to be there to bust your balls, to teach you how to drive. You know, I mean, if you make some, you know, little things, maybe you've got bad habits from driving, maybe the mentor can say, hey, you know, here at Walmart, we leave our turn signal on until we completely enter the lane that we're going to be in. Little things like that. The guy that I just mentored was a trainer at Prime. He was a great driver. You guys are probably going to see a video with him soon. His name was Tyler. Good guy. He's got a YouTube channel. He's only got one video right now, a little introduction video, but he's going to be having a channel talking about what it's like being an owner-operator or a trainer and going to Walmart. I was never an owner-operator. I can't give you that perspective. I can only say, hey, I've worked in 4 or 5 different places. I've been driving for 10 years, and Walmart's the best job I've ever found by far. But anyway, mentors are just there to basically help you with the Walmart stuff. You know, like I said, paperwork, stores, things like that. So I don't remember what I was saying now, but anyway, oh yeah, I'm going to be doing a video with Tyler, I hope soon. For those of you that are coming to Walmart, we are going to try to do a pre-trip video. I know lots of Walmart drivers, and I know if you guys watch videos, it seems like every driver in Walmart is from California. I don't know why. It is what it is. But Tyler is from Southern Indiana, so he's kind of in the same area as me. He's looking to transfer to somewhere else when he gets his 1 year in. So, but he's got a different perspective. But we're going to be doing a pre-trip video, but we're not supposed to use Walmart property. And I know there's been guys who done videos with Walmart property from other areas, but maybe they're not worried about losing the referral status or getting in any sort of trouble. Like I said, I think I've gotten 16 referrals this year, and that's a lot. And I don't want to lose that. So I don't want to do anything I'm not supposed to do. Trying to get permission to use a Walmart truck. If I can't use a Walmart truck, Tyler and I are going to take a day off when our schedules line up correctly. We're going to go to a truck stop. He's going to have one of his Prime buddies, because he's still friends with the guys at Prime that are, you know, lease on, owner ops, whatever. And we're going to have that guy, we're going to meet him somewhere that he's doing a 10-hour break, and we're going to borrow his truck, and we're going to do it that way. I thought about just going to I live less than a mile away from a truck stop. I thought about going down there and offering a driver 50 or 100 bucks and say, hey man, let me borrow your truck for a half hour, hold this camera. But if Tyler and I can get this done in the next week or two, that's what we'd like to do. Greg, appreciate it. I do this for you guys. When I started this a long time ago, I thought, I'll do a video on YouTube and maybe you'll get 100 likes and 5 subscribers and that'll be the end of it. I know you guys have heard me say this 1,000 times, but I'm still surprised by how many people watch my videos, comment, send me emails, ask me questions. It's humbling and it's honoring at the same time. I love it. It's really awesome. I can't believe how much people enjoy my videos and my content, and I'm not really doing anything. I don't feel I'm doing anything special. I kind of feel dumb sometimes, like, God, so many people ask me questions. I guess I should do a video, but I never know what to do because it feels like, why does anybody want to watch my stuff? But you guys love it, so I keep trying to do whatever you guys need. I'm your guys' servant is how I feel. I do stuff for you guys. So, but I'm doing that video with Tyler because I thought it'd be great to help him with his channel. He just got done with onboarding, and I know they changed just a couple of things about the pre-trip. And I wish I could remember what one of them was. Oh, one of the things I noticed that Tyler did that they didn't teach us was that when you're dropping the landing gear, they did want you to leave an inch or two of space. That was always the thing. But what they showed Tyler was you stick your shoe under there, and if your shoe, the top of your toes can get under there, but the whole piece of the shoe can't, then that's good. So like, say for example, let's see if I can do this. So let's say this is your shoe. They want you to be able to get just the top of your shoe to the bottom of the landing gear leg. And that's how they want you to drop it. So I would say that's more like 2 or 3 inches of space. But the reason for that is because they teach you when you pull out from under the trailer, you want to go slow, let the trailer drop down, and kind of make you use your frame of your truck as one of the legs gave out. Oh no, now it lands on your truck, and you can go back and get the landing gear and set it. And hopefully that works. If that doesn't work, if one of the legs went bad or whatever, you can leave your truck there until somebody else can come over and they can get a brace or a dolly or whatever they need to do, and the trailer doesn't hit the ground. So it's just a little bit of a safety preventative. It's also a great way to help the next guy, because there's nothing worse at Walmart than backing up under a trailer and that trailer being so many inches high because nobody left that gap, and then you go under there and go right past it, bam, you hit the back of the truck into that trailer, and guess what? You may have just lost your safety bonus. You're supposed to, that's the other thing that Tyler did. When you back up to the trailer, you're supposed to get out and look to see how the platform lines up with the bottom of the apron. So there's a couple of little things that Tyler taught me that they now teach at onboarding. And I said, hey, we need to do a video. I said, let's do a video together. I said, I'll be your cameraman. You be the guy doing the pre-trip, and we'll put it on my channel, and we'll, say, hey, this is Tyler. This is his channel. You put that video on your channel as well for your people. And then if anybody wants to go, use him as a referral, they can do that. And I've had people ask me, like, why are you willing to do this for these guys? Because I don't care. I mean, I've got a great job at Walmart. I've realized, and if you guys know anything about my videos with the weight loss stuff, I've been in therapy for the last almost a year now, and I'll probably be in it for the rest of my life for my food addiction issues. But while I've been doing this therapy, I've learned other things about myself, and one of them is I have a tendency to be the type of person that feels they need to rescue everyone, that needs to feel like they need to do things for everyone. I don't know why I do that yet. We're still working on that part, which is part of the reason why I do this channel, is because I did it just to help people that, hey, here's some information you guys might need. I never thought I would get referrals from it. And actually, they didn't even have this referral program when I started this channel. I did it just because I thought I couldn't find this information when I wanted it. Maybe you guys are looking for the same information, and that's why I did it. So I'm going to do that video with Tyler, and then we're going to throw that on we're going to introduce Tyler's channel, and we'll throw that video on Tyler's channel. And he's got a bunch of other ideas. One that I might steal from him after he does it. I kind of want to wait till he does it because I don't want to steal it from under him, because he has a really good idea. And his idea, and he said he might do that this weekend, but it's the 5 misconceptions about Walmart. I don't know what he's going to use. His content might be slightly different than mine, but one that aggravates the crap out of me is the inward-facing cameras. Walmart used to have a system that used the inward-facing cameras. That was one of those things that I talked about at the beginning of the video, where the CEO came in, they made a bunch of changes. That was one of them, along with the cell phone policy. And a lot of guys were like, I'm not driving here with an inward facing camera. I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't either. Not that I do anything wrong, but what if I did one thing wrong or one thing that I didn't think was this or that, and somebody wanted to go, aha, look, there, you did this. I'm not doing that. What if I'm sleeping and my phone rings and maybe I left it on the dash and I want to open the curtain to go up there and get it and the camera's on and there I am, naked or whatever. I'm not trying to do all that. And not only that, it's just kind of creepy. And, a lot of guys like it's a violation of privacy and all that. And I get it. I wouldn't want to work for a company with inward facing cameras either. The problem is, and this is where the misconception, and maybe Tyler's going to talk about this. I don't know. And if Tyler's watching this, maybe he'll steal my idea. The camera system is still there. They have the lenses from the inside because they didn't go through. I mean, think about it, guys. If every Walmart DC has, let's just say it's 100 trucks, and there are, I don't know, 5 DCs in Indiana alone. So let's just easy numbers. Say there's 500 DCs and 100 trucks. What is that? 500,000 trucks? Is that right? It's a lot of trucks. That math is right. I suck at math. And let's say those camera systems are $100, which I'm sure they're more than that. But let's say they're $100 a piece. That's a lot of money that Walmart would have to spend to go back and replace every single camera in every single truck. So the other thing is the camera system is run by a third party. It's not run by Walmart. It's Syntax or Contacts, or I don't even remember the name of the company. But what happens with the camera system is they're not always monitoring either. It's not like it's on a closed caption loop and blah, blah, blah. The camera system is there and it only trips when there is an incident. Like if you hard brake, that will trip the camera. It's got a sensor in it. I guess I shouldn't say it's not always running. It's always running, but it's not always being monitored by somebody. So what happens is if there's an accident or whatever, that camera will go back and record the last 8 seconds, and that's what gets submitted to safety. So that's how guys get caught using their cell phone. If it's at nighttime, the glare shines up on the windshield, and you're going to see these videos at onboarding if you haven't already. So I'm not really giving away any secrets. But if you're using the phone and you hit a pothole or a bump or whatever, and that camera trips, it records 8 seconds. Well, most of the time, people are thinking there's nothing there. But if the person watching the video, and I'm sure they're trained to do this, says, well, what is this glare on the window? They see the reflection of your phone. They know you were using your phone. Now you can get in trouble for using your phone. It's not like it's constant, somebody always monitoring and going, okay, he's picking his nose. Oh, he's using his cell phone. Oh, he's looking out the window. That's not how it works. And Walmart doesn't see everything that gets tripped. If the camera trips, that company reviews the footage. If they don't see anything in the guidelines of what Walmart wants them to do, then Walmart never even sees that clip. Now, when Walmart safety, let's say it's my video, because I've been told I've had lots of videos come in, but they're never anything that was anything to worry about. Because I was told this when I became a mentor. The guy that was training me to be a mentor went to safety and said, hey, how's Rich as a driver? Has he got any videos? And she's like, no, he's got nothing. And I'm like, cool. Well, I didn't know, but okay, good. But anyway, so safety's going to get that video. They're going to review it because it got sent to them from that company. Maybe that company was like, hey, we're not sure. Take a look at this. Safety will look at it and go, there's nothing here. There's no violations. And even if it is, maybe the camera got tripped because of speed. If I'm not mistaken, if you're doing 10 over, I think that's one of the things that can trip the camera. I honestly don't know because I've only been called in once for an incident with the camera, and it was my fault because I was following too closely. And the system, there's a adaptive cruise control on most of our trucks, if not all of them by now. And so you'll hear a little beep, beep, and then when you get too close, it goes beep, 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 and then it totally, okay, what is this guy here? Yeah, we need to ban this guy. Somebody spamming the channel. Where's the spam button? Okay. There we go. And hide user from my channel. Bam. Gone. Okay, now you guys ain't got to deal with him. Anyway, so it'll have a little alert system. When the adaptive cruise is set, you get too close, it'll beep, 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 beep. If it gets to that really too close section and it does it beep, 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 it will trip the camera. Now, if that happens, it gets reviewed, goes to safety. Safety may call you in and be like, hey, we've got a calendar event. What was going on? What were you doing here? And then you just got to explain yourself. And that's what happened to me. I was on 465. This was when I first started at Walmart and wasn't paying attention. It was like the first time I've been on 465 in forever, because I normally cut through the center of town when it wasn't under construction. And they're like, hey, okay, who's this guy here? Oh, that's that same guy that I just banned. Anyway, so yeah, sorry, I forgot what I was doing. So I didn't know that the speed limit was 55 instead of 65, and I was doing 65. And also, when there was a car on my left, there was a truck in my right that was going like super slow. Well, maybe he was doing 50 or 55. I don't know. Like I said, I was speeding and I didn't mean to be. But anyway, so I was gaining on this guy and I was like, I want to get over. And he was in the far right lane. I was going to use the middle lane. As I wanted to get over to middle lane and I turned my signal on, as you guys know, every time you turn your signal on, it's like moths to a flame. Oh, turn signal. We got to go over there. So there was a car behind me that jumped over and got into my left side. So I started to go over. I had to come back because that guy jumped out. So now I'm waiting on that guy. That guy gets past me. Well, as I'm watching the guy on my left and dealing with this, I had taken my eyes off the guy that was in front of me. And the thing started to beep because I got too close to him. And then when the car got next to me, the other thing you're not supposed to do at Walmart is you're not supposed to blow your air horn at them. Every driver on the road is a potential customer. Yeah. So the guy gets next to me and I'm talking to myself, you asshole, what the hell's wrong with you? Blah, blah, blah. And so I got called in. They're like, hey, you're speeding. What are you doing? I said, I didn't know I was speeding. I said, to this day, until just now, I didn't realize it that day. I said, I usually take 65 and I don't drive 465. I'm not used to the area. My bad. It was my fault. And then they said, well, why'd you get so close to this truck? And that's when I explained that there was this guy over here, and they could hear, I don't know how, maybe because the camera's on the inside of the windshield, they could hear me blow the horn, and they're like, well, you're not supposed to do that. We told you that in onboarding, right? And I'm like, yeah, that was yeah, my bad. I did it. And I thought, okay, I'm getting in trouble. I'm getting rode up. I'm getting a step. I'm getting something. This is where everybody talks, oh, Walmart micromanages you. I thought I was about to experience my second week on the job, after being without a mentor. And I didn't. Basically, they just said, okay, well, don't be doing that ever again. The horn thing, we don't do that. They said the speed thing, now you know that it's 55 around the entire loop. You're not allowed to do 10 over. You're not supposed to do more than 5 over. Which, okay, not a problem. And they didn't give me a write-up. I don't even know if I signed anything for a verbal warning. And this was at Seymour. Wasn't even at Gas City where I'm at now. So, but that was the one time I said, they go, what was going on that you got in this situation? And that's when I explained the guy on my left side. But I said, well, you guys have got the cameras. I said, can't you see what I was doing? They're like, no, we don't have access to the inside camera because they don't work. Even the third party doesn't have access to that part of the system because it's been disabled. So that's where the misconception of the inside cameras. Walmart doesn't use them. I tried. I kind of was like, I tried to see, hey, show me the inside camera. They're like, we can't. We don't have access to that. So, but they could hear the horn. And I always thought, why couldn't they hear me talking then? Maybe because I wasn't talking loud enough. The air horn was much louder and the camera was able to just barely pick that up because it wasn't super loud. But I was surprised they didn't hear me and they're going, MF, they probably would have been upset that I was MFing the customer that did what he did. But, it is what it is. So that's the kind of stuff. That would be one of my misconceptions. I don't know what Tyler's are going to be, but I hear that a lot. And the micromanaging is probably number 2. I would think those would be my top 2 misconceptions of being at Walmart, because I've worked out of Well, I've worked out of Auburn Garrett. I've worked out of Coldwater. I've worked at Washington Courthouse. I've worked out of Gas City. I've worked out of Seymour. I've worked out of Midway, Tennessee, and then probably a few others that I can't remember. And not once have I ever had anybody call me, send me a message on my tablet, asking me where I was, what I was doing. And I'll be honest, Walmart's policy when you guys get there is going to be, oh, sorry, Brooks, I just saw your message about the safety bonus because the other guy flooded the messages. Safety bonuses are every quarter. My bonuses are, well, it's worth about $1,000 per quarter because what they do is you're going to get a safety bonus for your miles that you drove. So the more miles you drive, the more your safety bonus is. I don't run very hard, especially running grocery. I think you get less miles, but you get more activities. So, and that's another misconception. Everybody's like, oh, GM makes more money. I don't know if they do. They don't get the activities that we get. And when you get to a store and you do an arrive and you do a live unload, that's worth $24. To drive to make $24 at 60 some cents a mile at 60 miles an hour. I mean, that's like, what would that come out to be to make 24 minutes at $1 a mile per? So you're looking at 45 minutes basically to make that same $24. And I can turn that drop and hook or live unload usually in less than a half hour. It's usually about 15, 20, 25 minutes. So I'm back out on the road making miles again. So if you can do what I do, which sometimes I can get 2 separate loads in a day, this one might have 3, this one might have 2, maybe it's only 1, whatever. I can get 3 to 6 stores in a day with all those activities, and I'm still getting 300 to 500 miles a day. My average is about 400 miles a day. I mean, I don't know how the guys make more money doing GM work, but whatever. So the bonuses, my bonus is normally around $400 to $500 every quarter, and you get a paid day off. You get what's called a safety day. So if you're ADP, which talking to Tyler just the other day, he's only been on the road. This is his first full paycheck, first 2 weeks. His ADP after his first check, I think he said it was already at $380. So he's at almost $400 a day average in his first week, and he's only going to get better. My ADP is over 400, but I don't run hard. I think it's sitting at 420. Now that I've started mentoring and I have a 5.2 and I'm not running 5.2, 5.3 or 6.3, it'll go up. Maybe I'll get it around 450. But I know guys out there that have got ADPs between 5 and 600. And there's little tricks to that once you get into Walmart, we'll show you. But yeah, so sorry, Brooks. So yeah, you get the day off and you'll get the paid day off. So if your ADP is 400 and your bonus is 450 or 500, I mean, that's almost $1,000 that you're getting every quarter. As long as you don't have any incidents, accidents, or anything like that, then yeah, you're going to get that bonus every quarter. Oh, another guy. That's the same guy, whatever. Let's put this guy in a timeout and let's hide all of his videos. Hide user on his channel. There we go. Has been hidden. Okay, so sorry. There was another guy here. Teddy, you had a question. I did not see that till just now. You were told at orientation, do not cover the camera. You will be written up as if there's an accident. I've been told the same thing. But, okay, so you said you'll be written up, and if there's an accident, they can't see in, and it's immediate step 3. If there's an accident, they can't see in anyway. What happens is, let's say you cover that, and I've seen cameras that were covered. Prove who did it. Did I do it? If I'm on a program with someone else, did a guy borrowing my truck on the program on the next week do it? Did they loan out my truck to somebody? You're supposed to report it as soon as you see it so they can try to figure out who did it. But I also know a lot of drivers here in the Midwest have the attitude of, They're not going to snitch on their fellow Walmart drivers. I know that happens in some locations. I've already mentioned the state that might happen in. But they got to figure out who covered the camera. What some guys do is they just bring down the visor from the passenger side and slide it over and cover the camera that way because they're paranoid about the inside camera. If that makes you feel better, go for it. I'm not going to say that the guy's wrong for doing that. I don't do it. I don't care because, like I said, I tested it. They still couldn't see inside. So I don't think they can access the inside camera. They tell us they can't access the inside camera. When I asked them for the inside camera, they still couldn't access the inside camera. So I don't think that they can see it. I could be wrong. I'm not saying I know everything, but I tried and I couldn't get it. So, but you're right. If you are caught covering up that inside lens, you can get in serious trouble. And like you said, step 3 or, one step away from termination. The reason I was told by CDTs, not Walmart, these were other drivers. The reason is they all had the same story. The reason I was told that they cover the camera is because I don't know if maybe the cameras are rented or whatever, but if you do something to destroy the inside of that lens, let's say Walmart wants to turn that camera on 6 months from now. They now have to replace that equipment. Someone has damaged Walmart property. It'd be no different than if you scrape the bumper on a yellow pole. You have damaged Walmart property. You scratch the bumper, you scratch the lens. It's the same thing. Now, on a bumper, you're not going to get a step 3. You might not even get a step 1, which I don't know how many steps you can get because I've not gotten in trouble and I don't remember what they told us. I think there's six steps, 4 steps, whatever it is. But yeah, you could get in trouble for that. But you're not. If you scratch a bumper, you're going to get a step 1 probably, if that. With the camera, it is a much higher offense because they want to use it later. Now they've got to replace that camera, and I can't imagine those cameras are cheap. And like I said, there's 100 trucks and 500 DCs. You've got all these trucks, and now they got to go through and replace all these cameras. That's going to be expensive as all get out. Walmart doesn't want to spend millions of dollars on new cameras when they've already got cameras that should work as long as nobody's tampered with them. I was told that was the main reason. Yeah, no problem, Brooks. I'm glad you're still here, man. I don't know when you asked that question because I don't get a timestamp on those. So apologize about that. I did not see that. It does flash up here on my screen like real quick, but if I'm in thought, I don't. If I stop to read it, you'll see my train of thought. That's the ADD setting in. I can't do 2 things at once. So, which is why I almost got in, trouble for that road incident I talked about, because while I was dealing with the guy on my left trying to figure out, why he was over there, I took my attention away from the driver in front of me, and I could have rear-ended him and had an incident. So, but yeah, safety bonuses are amazing. I mean, the paid day off is amazing. You figure you guys coming to Walmart, you get your first year, you can earn up to, I think, 24 PTO days. Where are you going to go and get 3+ weeks of vacation time your first year? I don't know. And that's another video I've thought about doing. Let me know. You guys, there's 13 of you here. Let me know in the comments. What do you think of this idea? I get a lot of guys that come on here that aren't interested in Walmart, that want to talk crap and tell me they can make more money working somewhere else. I thought about doing calling, let's say it's UPS. I'll call UPS, pretend that I'm a driver, interested in coming to work there, and I'll ask them all the questions. What is your pay? What is your PTO? What is your vacation? What is your, insurance? What is your whatever? Ask them all the questions a driver would ask. What's your home time? All those kind of things, and get the answers. And then I'll do a video: Walmart versus UPS. Who's better? And we'll go tit for tat on each item. Who's better, Walmart or UPS? Walmart or FedEx? Just said earlier. Who was that? Golden Shoestring. No, who was it? Yeah, Shoestring works at FedEx, getting ready to retire. He's coming to Walmart. I'm gonna look at these companies. I'm gonna do a video comparison. This versus this. What do you guys think? Maybe there's a company out there that I can find that has, like a boxing match. We go down the line. Maybe there's a company out there that's got more on their side than Walmart does on their side. I don't think I'm gonna find one. And if I do find one, I want to know who it is because I'm interested. Not saying I'm going to leave Walmart because, as you guys know from watching my videos, I've been accused of drinking the blue Kool-Aid. And I don't, I take pride in that because Walmart is such a great job. I love this job. My family loves the job that I have because my home time is great. The pay is phenomenal. The insurance is great. My retirement fund is, even in these economic times, is better than any portfolio I've ever had anywhere I've worked. I don't know if somebody's going to be able to beat Walmart, but I'd like to find out just out of my own curiosity, just to see, could somebody beat Walmart? Maybe Walmart would be like Mike Tyson in the 90s and just be completely dominant and undefeated. Maybe it'll be like, what was it? He bought Buster Douglas, who finally beat him. Maybe I could find a Buster Douglas out there. I don't know, but something I thought about. You guys that already work at Walmart, maybe you guys won't care. Maybe guys that are looking to come to Walmart, when they're searching FedEx, and they see my video, FedEx versus Walmart. That's where I thought, hey, that's a great idea. Maybe I'll get a bunch of FedEx referrals because FedEx guys will, be thinking about going there, or they'll be looking for jobs, and that'll come up, and they'll watch that video and they'll be like, holy crap, Walmart's amazing. And then I get a referral for Walmart. But I don't know. Like I said, I never thought about the referral aspect when I started this. I started it with the intention of just doing one or two videos to help people out, and that was it. So I kind of, other guys have got ideas for their channels now, like, oh, I'm going to do this and this. That way I've got content I can put up. I really don't have content that I can give you guys other than maybe there's a new job report, or, maybe there's some new information about Walmart. But we also have a Walmart Facebook group. If you guys are interested, you can look for it. You can search it, called Happy Walmart Drivers. If you love working at Walmart and you're a positive person, I'll let you in. I'm the moderator now for that group. The guy that was doing it with me is now in management. And once you go to management, you're not supposed to be in a group. It's only for current and retired Walmart drivers. No wives, no girlfriends, no members of management, no anybody that works as a yard jockey or whatever. It's just us drivers. We talk about things in there, but we want you to be civil. This is a place, there's other Walmart groups out there that I left because it was a cesspool of toxicity. They were negative people, negative. It was just bad. With this group, hey, if you have a bad day, or you've got a problem with something, if you can convey it professionally, then great. We'll talk about it. If not, then you'll be removed from the group. But we try to talk about positive things in there. Smooth Smith, driver to associate program. What do you want to know? I was actually told, and I forgot to log in. I don't remember what was I logging into my workday for? I was going to log in for something for you guys, and I don't remember. But if you go to one.walmart.com, I don't see it here. I was told by HR the other day, she showed me there is a spot, and I don't see it. Well, I'm logged in already, so maybe that's why I don't see it, because I'm logged in. No, that's not it. So there was supposed to be somewhere on the one.walmart that showed associate to driver. Maybe I can Google it here. Associate, if I can spell associate. So that's not right. How do you spell associate? ASS. Oh, come on. Associate to. I don't see associate to driver. Anyway, okay, so associate to driver program, if you have a specific question, let me know. But basically, there's not a lot that I can do to help you in the process. How it works is you go on Workday, because you're already in a Walmart associate. You go on Workday, search for Walmart to associate or Walmart driver. I think it says associate to driver on the Workday, and look for openings in your area and apply to them. I will tell you, the associate to driver program, I know a lot of guys sticking their nose up at it, the current Walmart drivers. Oh, they just let anybody in now. They talk crap about this. And I did too at first. I thought, Why is it fair to just let some guy in off the street, didn't have to put in 30 months, didn't have to put in, I know some of the old timers are like, oh, you only had to put in 3 years. We had to blah, blah, blah. I get it. I'm not talking smack about the old time drivers. I understand it would suck that guys don't have to pay their dues and they can just walk into Walmart. But look at it from this standpoint. You've got a guy that's been working at Walmart on average. Most of these guys have been there 5 to 10 years at minimum. They know the culture of Walmart. They know the company. They have pride in the company, and they're looking to better themselves within the company. As a Walmart driver, why would we be mad at associates for trying to do that? Yes, I understand. Maybe they're going to mess up our safety score. They don't know how to drive. That's why the program is so intense. It's 4 weeks of them getting their license, just like I did when I got my license. But then they keep them for another 8 to 12 weeks of on the road driving. They're going from store to store to store, doing what we're doing, getting real world training. When I got my license, I didn't get no real world training. We got our real world training out on the road before we came to Walmart. They're getting it at Walmart. They're not developing bad habits. We developed bad habits before we came to Walmart. So it's been proven so far with the first batch of the pilot program that was started last year before they went public with this, there were 64 drivers that went through that program. 63 of them to this day still have a spotless record. One guy bumped a yellow pole. It wasn't even a write-up from my understanding. It was very, very minor. And that's over a year. There are guys that came to Walmart in that group of 1 to 5 or 1 to 3 or whatever it is that they look at that have way more accidents than this pilot program has had. There are 10-year plus veteran drivers that have accidents at Walmart more frequently than this other group of drivers. So I think they're doing a good job with the program of making these guys safe drivers, which is most important. Now, should it hurt our pride that they got to come in without 3 years? I get it. I kind of felt that way too. But these guys have got to go through an extensive program. So once they apply, or once you apply, you're going to go through a process of they're going to look at you. Because I can tell you right now, I was just told by Dave Aguilera, the GTM of Gas City, they don't have any openings right now for associate to driver. They are going to have some openings in starting September for the next quarter, which will be January or February. But anyway, there's only going to be 3 people from Gas City that are going to be accepted to the program. The first time this went live in the spring, he had 35 applicants for 2 spots, I think he said. Now he's going to have 3 spots. He is expecting between 100 and 200 applicants. There's only 3 people going to make it. You're going to have a spotless record with Walmart. You're going to have to have probably a good track record attendance-wise. You're going to have referrals from your managers that you're a good employee. We're getting the best of the best employees to become the best of the best drivers. I don't see a problem. Once I learned more about it, it was said to me that way. I think that's a great idea. I mean, outside carriers, we complain about them right now. All these outside carriers tearing stuff up. All these outside carriers, they got 3 years of experience. Would you rather have that guy? Or would you rather have the associate with a spotless record that's the best of the best that we've got working for us to become a driver with us? I thought about it that way. Hands down, I'll take the associate. Anyway, Marvin, how you doing? Teddy, welcome back. How many back hauls can you get in a week? Matt Larkin. It depends. If you're running GM, that's all you're going to do is run back hauls and GM products from DCs to stores. For me at grocery at Gas City, we run back hauls for, oh gosh, there's at least 15 to 25 of them because we get them from Chicago, from Michigan, eggs from Ohio, yogurt. There's so many that I get maybe 2 a week, but I don't get many. And it doesn't matter. Back hauls really are no big deal. I mean, they're kind of nice because they're kind of a gravy run. But there's also things called exception runs. Different DCs do them differently. But here at Gas City, the exception runs, the guys go to Chicago or they go to wherever, Indianapolis, Ohio, whatever the exception is, they run a set route, they pick up that set backhaul, and they come back and they do the same run every single day. There's only a few of those spots, and the guys that have been here for ever tend to get those. I just missed getting those. I did get my own truck. I've only been here a little over 2 years, but I got my own truck, and I've got 5-2 schedule, yada yada, and I do backhauls maybe 2-3 times a week. I tend to go to Paw Paw, Michigan, and get eggs, or I'm sorry, to get Coca-Cola products and tea, things like that. I tend to go to Ohio, to Johnstown, and pick up eggs. And then I also tend to go to Indianapolis and pick up water. If I've got extra time in the morning after I'm done with my nighttime stuff, sometimes I'll get sent to pick up water, but not very often. Dave Tijuana, trailers, okay, I think you meant tractors, manual or automatic. They're 53 foot for the most part. Now, out of the dairy location in Fort Wayne and some of the East Coast areas, I'm going to guess that you're Dave Tijuana, so you're probably in Southern California. I could be wrong. I'm just guessing. I don't know if they have any of the 48-foot trailers there. They're used for dairy mostly. So unless you're running out of the dairy plant, you're going to have a 53-foot trailer. We now started getting the air slide tandems, most of them the old manual pull stick. Oh, you're a store associate. Oh, you may not know exactly what I'm talking about then if you're not familiar with the trucks. So you do not need experience if you're a store associate. That's what this associate to driver program is for. They're going to train you. I think you're a total of 18 to 20 weeks, not just a driving training. There's a lot. Okay, South California. So you're probably looking at either Fontana, Apple Valley. I can't remember what the other one is. Or you may be looking at the one out of, well, you probably wouldn't be looking at Arizona if you're in Southern California. Either way. So you go on your work day and you look for driver to associate and look to apply at any of the locations in that area. You must live within 250 miles. It used to be 60. They limited you guys very, very tightly on how far you could be from the DC. But now they opened it up a little bit. So you have the same restrictions as pretty much everybody else. You must live within 250 miles of the DC. You must have a good record, good standing with Walmart, and you can apply. Your manager will get notified right away. Your manager will probably sit down with you and talk to you about the position or whatever information you need to know. After you apply, you can go to your manager and say, hey, I applied for the associate to driver position. What can you tell me? Maybe they can give you a letter of recommendation. I do not get a referral from all these guys that I help. I can give you, if I know you and I've talked to you and gotten to know you a little bit, maybe I could write you a letter of recommendation. That would be the most that I could do for you, and other than try to give you information. But if you go on one.walmart.com and look in your back, on your website and your back portal, all that, you should be able to find information on it. I couldn't find it a minute ago when I was looking, so that I could give you guys any information on that. One more time. Associate to driver. I wonder if I Googled it, if it would come up better than looking for it. Salaried associate, OTR, leave of absence, associate delivery candidate talking points. No, that's going to be you guys driving the vans. Yeah. I don't see it on here. But anyway, so what's going to happen is you're going to go through that process. You're going to go through interviews, and they're going to narrow it down to the top of the top. And then if you get in, you're going to go through the 4-week CDL program. That's getting your license. They're going to get you your permit. They're going to train you. Then you're going to get your state license and your endorsements. Then they're going to start training you on how to drive over the road. You're going to be with a mentor or CDT, not a mentor, an actual CDT for, I think, at least 12 weeks. If you pass all that. Now, they have had a couple people not make it through the program. They don't just take anybody that makes it in. You still got to get through the program, just like we got to get through 2 weeks of onboard, or the 1 week of onboarding. You've got to go through all these weeks of training. The great thing about this program for you, and this is crazy because it could help you in so many ways, is you start over seniority-wise as a driver, but you keep your seniority when it comes to your PTO. Now, the reason that's a big deal is because when you start at Walmart, you're going to earn, I don't know, it's like 0.9 hours for every hour that you're, or 0.9 days for every hour or 10 hours, whatever it is that you work as a driver, because that's how you earn your PTO. It's by the hours that you work. So you can earn up to 24 days of PTO your first year if you use all your hours. As an associate, keeping your PTO, the guy that comes in as a new driver is only going to be able to get 24 days because his PTO is set at a new driver. You're getting to keep your PTO as an associate as a driver. So as a driver, you're not going to win very many bids on getting your own truck or trying to get this route or putting in for vacation or any of those things. You're not going to get that more than likely because you're new. But you're going to earn maybe 28, 29 days of PTO your first year. I don't know how many years you've been with the company, and I don't know how many, I can't remember how that works. I don't even know how many hours I accumulate in my start of my third year or whatever. But you're going to earn more PTO than I will because your PTO is going to, seniority is going to transfer over. So that's an amazing thing for you guys because, and I think I shared this one in my past videos, but in case none of you guys have watched it, I'll explain. PTO is huge for helping your ADP. And I had a driver comment and say, you can't raise your ADP by doing that. Let me explain. So let's say on your last day, you worked 5 days. You averaged 400, 400, 400, 400, okay? And let's say your ADP is 300, just to make math simple. On your 5th day, it's your go-home day. I don't know about some of you drivers that are here. I don't work hard on my last day. I get whatever makes that 6 to 8 hour mark, and I'm out. I do not put in a full day on my go-home day because I got a 3-hour drive home. I live really far from my DC. I'm not playing. I'm trying to go home on my go-home day. So, and most times they're good with that. I've only once, and it was this last load I talked about going up to Dearborn, where I had to spend more than 6 hours in a truck, and it took me, well, I had to go from a location to the DC and then to Dearborn and back, but either way, I put in a 10-hour day. But still on your go home, I mean, normally you work 10 to 12 to 14 hours a day. But anyway, so on that go home day, let's say you only made $250. You're not getting paid for the layover. You only did 6 hours worth of work. Maybe it was a short 2 stops to Indy and back, and you only got 150 miles or whatever it is. You only got $200 or whatever on your last day. You can use your PTO, and most of you guys probably know this, to make what they call make yourself whole. You can use partial PTO to bring that last day to PTO. It'll bring it to the $400 mark. Now, if you hadn't done that, your ADP is going to be averaged off of 400, 400, 400, 250. Once they average that, it's going to come out under 400. Okay? And this might be what the driver meant was you can't raise your ADP, but I disagree, and I'll explain why. When you use that PTO to make yourself whole, yes, you only brought it to 400, but your ADP, let's say it was 400, just to make things simple so I can explain how it raises the ADP. You brought that ADP to 400. Your other days, maybe you had 400, 425, 400, 425. Well, if that was the case and you didn't make yourself whole, your average for the week would have been less than 400. Now your ADP is going to drop. But because every day was at least ADP and you had a couple that were over your ADP, by using your PTO time to push it to that ADP mark, all those extra dollars that you made throughout the week are going to get added in, and it's going to raise your ADP. And that's what I was trying to explain in that video, and the driver's like, that doesn't work. You can't raise your ADP. Technically, you can. If all of your days are at or above ADP and you use just a couple of hours. I mean, I went through the last 2 weeks. I just did it before I left because I'm going on vacation in September. So I wanted to I'm trying to raise my ADP as high as I can because while I'm on vacation, I get paid ADP. So I went last week. I didn't even use a half a day. I had one day where my ADP was just a couple dollars under, and it used like 0.08 or something. On my go home day, where I'd only work like 6 hours or whatever on the first week, not this last week because the last week was over ADP, but on that first week it used 0.4, which I think is a fourth of a day. All added up, I didn't even use a half a day of current PTO that I've got banked to raise my ADP over 400. I'd like to get it to 450 or 500 before I go on vacation, because now I'm making $500 a day on vacation instead of 400 or 420 or whatever I leave the thing at. So again, some of you veteran drivers, I may have just bored the crap out of you with that. You may already know that. The rest of you, maybe I helped you and you learned something. So yeah, Dave, go for it, man. Becoming a Walmart driver, as you guys know, I've said it 1,000 times, the best thing I've ever done. If you're a store associate, even if you're a shift manager or something making $20 an hour, becoming a Walmart driver is going to change your life. It is going to, I mean, being you've never been a truck driver, you're not going to understand the home time so much. To you, you're going to look at that and be like, I've got to be gone for 5 days. Those of us that have been drivers for a while or had dads that were drivers, because my dad was a driver when I was a kid, those guys were gone 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time. They'd come home once a month for 3 days and they were gone again. Nowadays, it's not so bad. It's not quite like that. But as an over-the-road driver, yeah, a lot of drivers are gone maybe 2 weeks at a time. If you come to Walmart, you can work a 5-2, 5-3, have a 3-day weekend every other week. Your schedule rotates where you've got weekends off. As a truck driver, that's not normal. You want to take a day off and put in PTO time as a regular driver over the road? How are you going to do that? You're stuck in Colorado and you need to be in Chicago for PTO? There's no such thing. This doesn't work. So if you're that type of driver, that you're used to being over the road, you're used to being gone, maybe you're an owner operator and freight sucks and mileage sucks and pay sucks, Walmart is going to be unbelievably different, night and day for you. Now, if you're used to being home every day, maybe you're a dump truck driver, combination dump or hauling fuel or whatever, you got some local job, coming to Walmart might be a little bit different the other way, because you're not going to be getting that home time. But the guys that are home every day, I've never really understood, because say you work 12 hours. Let's say you got to commute a half hour to an hour to the place to get the truck. You done put in 12 to 14 hours of a day already. What good is being home for 10 hours? You still got to sleep. Yeah, maybe you could hurry and rush around and get something done. Maybe sleeping in your own bed is a big deal. I put a different mattress in my truck at Walmart. I don't have to worry about that. I've got a comfortable mattress. Sleeping in my own bed isn't a big deal. Other than that, I don't see the benefit of being home daily. Unless I lived within 10, 15 minutes of the DC or something like that, I don't know. That doesn't appeal to me. I'm not saying it's wrong. Hey, everybody's got their thing. Like I've always said, Walmart's the best job I've ever found. I'm sure some guys came here and hated it for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe money isn't everything to them. Maybe they wanted their own truck that they don't have to sweep out every week. I don't know. I'm speculating at this point because I'm just trying to think of something off the top of my head, because most of those guys don't talk to me after they leave. They get mad and I never hear from them again. But yeah. So we're at the hour mark, guys. I wanted to put in at least an hour. You guys have had some good questions. Nothing I couldn't answer that I know of, except for that associate to driver, because I couldn't find the link, because I had just asked HR about it because I knew I was doing this and I wanted that information, and I forgot to look it up before I got on here. So, but I think I answered the questions you had about the job. Dave, again, if you look at my videos, and in this one, I'm going to put my email. It's DRKARAOKE DJ@gmail, Dr. Karaoke DJ. And the reason I have that is because for 15 years, I ran the largest mobile DJ business in Northwest Indiana back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And it's just an email I've had, so it's what I use. I guess I could come up with a Walmart one, but then I'd have to have another one that I've got to search, and I don't want to be doing all that. Same reason people ask me, how come you don't do TikTok? And how come you don't do all these other social media platforms to try to talk to drivers? Because then that's crap I've got to be looking at. I already spend an hour to 2 hours a day on average talking to guys, answering emails, working the referral side of things, whatever it is. I don't need another platform. This one's keeping me pretty busy as it is. So, but yeah. 24, think about becoming a Walmart driver, but my brother doesn't want me to. Your brother doesn't want you to. None of his business. No, all joking aside, why does it matter? Do you live with your brother? Does he depend on you for something? Again, I'm trying to be serious here. I'm not trying to joke around or be mean. Why does it matter what your brother thinks? Is he concerned you're not going to make money? Is he thinking it's not safe? What's up with that? But yeah, I'm gonna cut this off here shortly. If you guys got any questions, send me an email, and I'll either answer it. Well, I'll probably answer it for sure. And if it's a good question, I'll make a video about it. But yeah, Skinny, let me know about your brother, because is it worth being a truck driver, period? Not at Walmart. I've had some jobs. I left a job for safety reasons. I was driving combination dump truck. If you know anything about here in Northwest Indiana, we got a lot of steel mills. And I worked for a company because it was home every day. I did the whole, I got to be home every day. I'm going to make good money, blah, blah, blah. I did all that. And I thought I was going to be great. The thing was only about 30, 40 minutes away from my house. And we hauled stuff for the steel mills. And I went to a lime plant one day. And we went here often. This was a place we went. But I had to wait for whatever reason. And I just happened to look at the paperwork. And I was looking at the bottom. And it said, pursuant court case, or whatever, law and blah, 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 number, da-da-da-da. And there were 3 of them. And then he said, okay. I'm like, what is this? And I started reading it. And it was basically court cases of drivers that have filed cases against this company, the lime company, because of hazardous material was causing cancer. I said, wait a minute, I'm sitting in here in this tube, getting this dust dumped down on me every day, twice, 3, 4 times a day, running this lime in and out of the mill. No mask, no respirator. They don't give you anything. They don't tell you nothing. I just thought it was dust. I didn't think it was a big deal. It comes in the vents. You have to shut your vents off of your truck, or that stuff was coming in the vents. And the trucks are covered in this stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm sitting here killing myself so I can be home every day? I can find a better job on the road. And that's when I found the Silverline job, which is the window company that I worked for right before Walmart. I was back being gone. I got paid by the hour. I thought, get paid by the hour. This is going to be great. No matter what I do, I get paid by the hour. Get in traffic? Yeah, great. Didn't matter. But I was gone 6 days a week because my route ran through Minnesota and back. I used to have to go up to Duluth, eh? I love the way they talk. I wanted to move there. My wife didn't want to do it. I thought Duluth was beautiful. But anyway, but I had to huff windows off the back of the truck. I was the only guy there. When you get to a job site, you got to huff every window, every patio door, every whatever off that truck to the end of it. And then the work crew at that job site would take it from the back of the truck and take it to where it needed to go. There's 6 of them guys down there. There's only 1 of me. You got to hustle. You got to bust your butt back and forth to get them windows down there for them guys. Ace, it was a lot of work. A lot of work. It sucked. And when I thought about it, I was like, I told my dad, I said, I'm thinking about looking for something better. He goes, where are you going to go? I said, I thought about maybe Walmart, maybe UPS. I hear they pay really good and got a good pension. And my dad, he's a union guy. He was a union carpenter after he was a truck driver. And he goes, I've heard Walmart's the best job you can get. I said, yeah, I've heard that too. They won't take me. Who am I? I'm not that good of a truck driver. Well, here I am. But yeah, so Skinny, he says, people are leaving the trucking industry and it's not a good career. You're right. There are drivers leaving the trucking industry. But the only reason you leave Walmart is usually because you're retired. It's not because most of the guys don't leave because they don't like it. Ace, Walmart's the best driver a driver can get. I agree. I tell people I'm semi-retired because Skinny. Let me give you a little example. Company policy. There's 2 things that I want to say here. 2 things. One, when you get to a dock and you open up that door, maybe it was your fault. Probably not. Most of the time it is the DC's fault, the loader's fault. But let's say there's a tipped over pallet. I mean, we do have some drivers that like to take the turns and the exits at 40 mile an hour in a 35 or 30 posted zone, and maybe they cause it to tip. But most of the time, I would say it's probably the warehouse. They don't shrink wrap it right, whatever. And there's a pallet all over the ground. There's bottles everywhere, cans, boxes, everything all over the place. Company policy, you are not to go into that trailer and help the associates pick up the mess. I am not trying to sound mean, conceited, cocky, whatever. The reason for that is it's harder to replace a Walmart driver than it is an associate. They can call in another guy on the schedule or hire another guy in a couple of days to take over that spot if an associate gets hurt. If you pull your back bending over to pick up a box or slip and fall and you're out for 2, 4, 6, 8 weeks, a year, whatever, Walmart can't replace you tomorrow. They can't call somebody in to replace you. Walmart drivers are more valuable in that sense because they're harder to replace. So it's an easy job because now at Gas City, I don't know about the rest of you guys, it's coming. Walmart's going paperless. There's no more paperwork that you hand the store anymore. You get your seal card that you have to get in and out of the DC with, and that's it. They're getting rid of the load maps too. The load maps are on the tablet. You're supposed to take the tablet in and out. I'm not going to go into all the details on that and all the gripes and complaints because some guys are like, I'm not taking the tablet in because if you break it, you got to pay for it. There's pluses and minuses to this. It's something that Walmart is trying, but you don't work that hard as a Walmart driver. You're not allowed to touch stuff on the truck. The other thing is, if you're tired and things like that, you're instructed to call in, let them know, hey, I'm tired. I need to take a small nap. It's company policy. They'll show you a video twice a year. You're supposed to take a nap because you're distracted driving. So it's easy to work at Walmart. The problem is if you're not an associate at Walmart getting in the associate to driver program, you have to go out and get 3 years of experience, or 2.5 years, 30 months of experience. That's going to be a little tough. I guess I shouldn't say tough, but that's where your brother might have a concern because you might be working for a company. I talked to a driver the other day, not going to mention any names because I don't know if this guy wants it out there, but I'll tell the story. Talked to a driver, and he said before he came to Walmart, he worked for a company out of Chicago. I don't remember the name, what he said, but what the company would do is while he was sleeping on his 10-hour break, they would go in and edit his logs. They would then call him and say, hey, we edited your logs. You've got hours. We need you to take this run, and make him drive. He may not have gotten any sleep. So now he's got to go out and drive, and that's unsafe. And the company falsified his logs. That's the kind of stuff that can happen out there to drivers. Walmart is not that kind of company. Robert, you're a Walmart driver and you're ready to leave. I'd love to know why. Again, Walmart's not for everybody. I have said that since day one. Walmart is perfect for me. It's not perfect for everyone. Robert, you might work at a DC with poor management and you've got problems. Maybe instead of leaving, a transfer is in order. Maybe you've got personal issues that you can't be gone every day and you got to be home every day. I could see that because my wife was in a car accident and I stopped driving for 3 months and tried selling cars so I could be home every day to help her with her medical needs. I could completely see a driver getting off the road for something like that. Hazmat part. Ace, sorry, I saw another thing here. So Skinny, that's why drivers would be leaving the industry, is because there's bad companies out there. If he can get in, I've heard a lot of good things about Prime. If he can go to if you can go to driving school and get your 4-week whatever, get your license, get in with Prime for 30 months. I've heard Prime is a decent company. Maybe it's not the best, I don't know, but it's pretty good. Get in with them, get 30 months of experience. The pay's not going to be that great when you first start out, more than likely. The job's not going to be that great because you're going to get stuck out places. You're going to have to do resets. You may not make it home all the time. There's going to be a lot of crap coming with that 30 months of experience. But when you get to Walmart, you're going to appreciate it so much more. Because like I said, I've had lots of 4 different driving jobs. I've been a Teamster. I've been over the road. I've been local. I've done it all. And yeah, it sucks. But Walmart is better than any job that I've ever had. Ace, you see, B, Brianna, hey, what's happening? Hopefully you got a hold of Dave from Gas City and you guys got something worked out. Again, he didn't give me the details, but glad to see you could make it. So your Prime driver on YouTube, they're testing installing inward-facing cameras. Ace, I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to happen. It's going to come to Walmart someday. Well, I should say it's going to come back to Walmart someday. There's a lot of companies out there that are doing it for insurance reasons. I am sure they are getting huge discounts on insurance if they had inward-facing cameras so that they could prove in court that the driver was not at fault. I'm sure it saves them millions of dollars. If you're anywhere in Indiana or possibly even Ohio, you've been around, you've seen the Hammer billboards. Everybody hates Hammer because all that guy does is try to get people to sue truck drivers in an incident that may or may not have been a truck driver's fault. And if that lawyer can say, oh, well, the driver must have been doing something, if he can cast that shadow of a doubt, a lot of times companies settle and pay out people who maybe don't deserve a payout. Maybe they do. But anyway, them lawyers drive me nuts. I wouldn't want an inward-facing camera, but if it was there and it could prove that I didn't do anything wrong, okay. I'm not going to hate it that much. I mean, it would suck, but I think every company is going to go with inward-facing cameras at some point, sometime. So maybe get your 30 months in it at Prime and then come over to Walmart if Walmart hasn't picked them back up yet. Robert's leave. You're leaving because of boredom. Okay, so were you joking? You came in after selling your truck. You used to be an owner operator. You miss traveling around. I could see that. But everything I say about Walmart's true. It's easy work, great benefits, great money. Robert, I don't know if you were here at the beginning. We talked about that there are a lot of owner operators coming to Walmart. So I don't know if you're seriously thinking about leaving. Maybe you're going to wait for the market to get a little better. I don't know. And then maybe you'll come back to Walmart if the market goes down again. But if you had your own truck and you know what you're doing and you can be disciplined and do things the owner operator the right way, you can make great money as an owner operator. Some guys are just tired of the risk and the insurance and the payments and the fuel prices and the freight being low and the inconsistency. And yeah, I'm happy to be bored at Walmart and make great money because I mean, as you guys can see, I'm no spring chicken. I've got maybe a little over 10 years left at Walmart, and then I'm going to retire when I can. I'm happy to be bored at Walmart, but I understand Walmart can be boring if you're used to being, owner and operator and having your complete freedom and all that stuff. Walmart's different. Walmart's not a perfect job. It's perfect for me. Only thing you don't like about Walmart is not having a dog. Guys, I hear this one all the time. It makes sense why they don't allow it, but do I ever see that policy changing? It's funny. I just talked to my boss about this yesterday. I had a guy who wanted to apply at Walmart that has an emotional support dog. What does Walmart say about that? Walmart won't hire you. Could he have a legal battle on his hands? Yeah, maybe he could. The policy is stated before you apply, and there is a part of the application that says, based on the expectations, is there any reason you can't work at Walmart? If you click yes, then they want to know what it is. You put emotional support dog. You could probably sue Walmart and say, oh, well, they knew that I needed my dog and they didn't hire me because of that. Maybe you could, maybe you couldn't. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. That's just hypothetically speaking. There's no facts to that at all that I know of. But I don't see them changing the policy. So I'm sorry, I was reading Robert's comment. So yeah, it sucks that they don't allow pets, but they do have a great rider policy. You can bring just about anybody. Anybody that lives in your house is a spouse, a child, a parent, a sibling, an aunt, an uncle, a niece, a nephew, a grand. I mean, literally, I think I looked at the list one day and I was like, it probably would have been shorter for them to tell you who they don't allow. You can even bring a Walmart associate. So, like, hey, who was that? Oh, he was from Southern California. That's what it was. So, if there was a Walmart associate that was close to me and he said, hey, man, I want to ride with you one night to see what the job is like, I should. Oh, maybe I shouldn't open that can of worms. Maybe I shouldn't do that video. Say, hey, if you live near Gas City, you can come ride with me. But you could even take in a Walmart associate on the road with you. Sorry. Yeah, I know. As I was thinking that through. See, you guys get the videos after I've either edited them or I've had like an agenda and I kind of know what I'm going to talk about. You guys are getting the real me today. So my brain, you guys are seeing the little lapses of the synapses aren't firing quite right. But yeah, you could even take a Walmart associate in the truck with you. So they got a great rider program. They just don't have a pet policy. And I don't see them changing that just because of insurance reasons. Because Walmart is self-insured, and this may be the reason you're alluding to. This is what I think it is. Because Walmart is self-insured, if a dog was to get out of the truck and bite somebody or cause an accident or, God forbid, whatever, Walmart's liable or could be liable. And even if you were to sign a waiver, I still think Walmart could get sued, and Walmart doesn't want lawsuits. That's really what it comes down to. Robert said he's been an over-the-road driver for 21 years. He likes Walmart, but he misses traveling. Been thinking about it, but the benefits and money makes it hard to leave. Yeah, see, Walmart. Robert, I mean, I could see that's a viable reason for wanting to leave Walmart. I get these other guys that just go, I hated Walmart, and they get mad about something or they get fired for something. I read a story from the guy who actually it happened to. He got into an argument with an associate one day at a store. The associate cussed him out first. He got mad, cussed the associate back. At Walmart, you are expected to be professional. The associates don't have to be, I guess. I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should edit that part of the video. Associates, I guess, are supposed to be professional, but in this case, the drivers there's more expected of the drivers. That statement is factual. And because he cussed the associate, he was removed from his position. So I think the reason he doesn't want me to do it is because he thinks of all the trucking jobs, heavy lifting and stuff for a lot. No, that kind of has changed quite a bit. Truck driving is not what he's thinking of, like girls of the night at the truck stops and taking pills to stay awake all night and driving from coast to coast. This isn't the 80s. This isn't when my dad drove. This isn't when I rode with my dad. This isn't even when I first started driving over the road on a paper logbook and I was running Renegade, doing stuff that, I had carbon copy spindle, sheets that I'd rip out and redo my logs 3 days later and all that. No, this is not the same trucking industry that it used to be. It can't because of federal regulations. I think at Prime, he's going to do a lot of drop and hook, and he's going to do a lot of dock bumping. When you bumped, or I'm sorry, I keep saying it's you. When you may do a lot of Walmart loads at Prime, which you're going to go to a Walmart DC, you're going to bump a dock, you're going to take a nap, 2, 3, 6 hours later, or whatever it is. You'll be unloaded and you'll be on your way to your next stop. Like I said, the worst part about it is the pay is not as great unless you're working at Walmart. When you're first starting out, you don't know road systems very well, maybe. Atlas and GPS can only do so much. There takes a little bit of common sense and a little bit of luck to figure some crap out. You get downtown Chicago and you make one wrong turn and there's an overweight no truck sign. You better pray you can get through quick because you're about to get a ticket. I've done it. I had a $5,000 ticket for being empty, but I was overweight because his weight limit was 5,000 pounds because they put the sign above the street light. So when you're sitting at the light, my fault. Technically it was my fault because as a driver, I should have been looking for that sign before I approached the light. But as I pulled up to the light, I'm scanning across. I'm looking at the light above that I can see. I'm looking at the poles I can see. No signs whatsoever about not making that turn. It was on a pole straight above the truck. I can't see through the ceiling to see that sign. I was supposed to see that before I approached that intersection. I made the turn. Halfway down, there's a stop sign. Past that stop sign, there's another major road that I was allowed to be on. Well, I thought I was allowed to be on the little one, but anyway, that I needed to make a turn because I missed the entrance to the place I was looking for because that road said truck limit 5 tons, so I didn't turn on it. Come to find out, the company says, oh yeah, that's the road you have to turn on. You're just not allowed to go a mile down the road. Well, how am I supposed to know that? Anyway, that's the kind of stuff that you're going to run into as a new driver. You're not going to know cities and locations. You're going to run into that kind of crap. You're going to run into forced dispatching, which I guess technically at Walmart, when they give you a load, you have to take it. But the reason forced dispatching is an issue is, let's say you don't want to drive to New York because of the tolls, because of the bridges, because of the city, because of all the crap that comes with going to New York. You have to go if Walmart tells you to go, technically. Forced dispatching at Prime, you have to go if they have forced dispatch. You can't tell them no. In Robert's case, as an owner-operator, he doesn't want a load that he found on that load board or from his place that he's leased onto or whatever his dispatching system is. He can tell him to stick it. He ain't taking it. He takes something else. He can do whatever he wants. He's got that freedom. Some guys don't want to work at Walmart because they don't want to give up that. Hey, as an owner-operator, you can probably make the same money at Walmart. You're not going to have the same benefits because you're not going to pay for those benefits because all those come out of your pocket. That's the kind of stuff you're going to run into as a new driver. You're not looking to make a career out of being at Prime or RTI or Swift or Schneider or whatever company that you get on with forever. You're only trying to get 30 months in. And as soon as you get your 30 months, you're coming to Walmart, if that's your plan, which would be a good plan in my eyes. But that's what you're going to do. You only got to do it for 30 months. Suck it up. It's going to suck. It's not going to be, it's going to make you appreciate Walmart more. When you're going through those shit jobs, you know, I worked for a septic company before I got my Class A. I cleaned porta potties for a living. It made me appreciate my Class A license a little bit. I had new struggles when I got my Class A. And Walmart made me appreciate everything I've done for the last 40 years of my life. Because boy, I've done roofing, I've done construction, I've done a lot of different things. Walmart's the easiest job I've ever had, and I appreciate the shit out of it. Absolutely 100%. So yeah, you're going to run into some things. And don't worry about the hookers at the truck stops because a lot of places don't have those anymore either. There's a lot of things that you see in the movies and that you see from back in the day that is not, I mean, I'm not saying you're not going to see it once in a while, but I live near Gary, Indiana. It used to be a thing. Now, you're not going to see that kind of crap here. They've got guys that monitor the lots. I guess everything's gone more social. No, I don't think Craigslist doesn't have it anymore, but you used to be able to find that kind of stuff online, and you probably still can. Not saying that's what you're looking for. Because Walmart takes a pretty good stance against that. They have videos about that every once, twice a year about how to stop that stuff. But anyway, trafficking, that's the word I was looking for. But yeah, I would become a driver and I would go to work for Walmart. If you can't get in a Walmart, where should you go? There used to be a company that I looked at a long time ago when I first got my license, and that was kind of like my goal. I was going to go work for this dry ice company. Back in, I mean, we're talking 10 years ago, they were advertising, make over $100,000 a year. I was making 35 at the time with my first driving job. This company was advertising 100,000 back then. I tried to find them a month or two ago because I thought, I wonder if I could still find that company. Do they still pay better than Walmart? What are they? I can't find them. I don't know if they're in business anymore. So there might be a job out there that pays more, is better than Walmart. Like I mentioned earlier, if you guys have been here for the last hour and 40 minutes, thanks for sticking around that long, by the way. I thought about doing videos comparing this company versus Walmart. I was going to pretend I was a truck driver that looking for a job and just see what they come up with. Can I find a company that beats Walmart? I don't know. I've asked around, and drivers tell me, oh, FedEx. We got guys from FedEx coming here. Why? They're not union. Do they have a pension? I don't know. UPS has a pension. They're about to go on strike from what I heard, or they got contract issues or something. I don't know what's going on there. Any company could go under. Hell, Yellow and YRC or whatever, the two that are combined together, they're about to go through a strike possibly. They got contract issues. They might even go under. They might file bankruptcy. I was listening to a podcast, the one that I listen to all the time. Oh my goodness, I just out of my brain. Anyway, the podcast was talking about, they had a driver on from one of those companies that said that they may end up filing bankruptcy so they could restructure everything. Skinny, Amazon is outside carriers from my understanding. I don't know if Amazon has its own Class A trucking division. Now they have their own drivers for their vans, but they don't. You'll see a lot of Schneider orange trucks pulling Amazon trailers. So that's all outside carriers, owner operators, things like that. I don't think Amazon has its own trucking part. Robert says he's out of London, Kentucky on meat and produce running nights. Roberts, that's what I run out of Gas City. Misses the freedom, but the benefits and home time. Yeah. That would be tough. If you think you could make more money as the owner operator going back doing that and pay for the benefits and have those things, it would be tough. We've had guys that leave Walmart and come back, so leave on good standing. If you get back out there a year from now and you're like, screw this, I forgot, I hated this part, and you want to come back, you can do it. Ace says he's doing his first overnight trip next Thursday with the associate to driver program. Ooh, what? Wait a minute. Associates are going out with the CDTs overnight, or you mean you're working midnights? I need more clarification on that, because my understanding was associate to drivers were never meant to be in the trucks with the CDTs, because then it becomes an issue of who stays in the truck and who stays in the hotel, because if you're not parked at a Walmart, DC, or store, you are supposed to be with the truck at all times. Continental Express, is that the dry ice company I was thinking of? That I thought it was something Continental, but when I went looking for it, I couldn't find it. Now you're gonna make me Google that. Anyway, so Ace, explain to me what you mean by overnights, because somebody has to stay with the truck. Is that going to be the associate, or is that going to be the CDT? The CDT isn't going to want to do that. So yeah, what was that again? Continental Express truck driver job. Let's see if that comes up. Continental Express out of Lima, Ohio. Maybe this is it. Let me see here. Dedicated loads, home weekly, so you're not 41 cents per mile. That can't be it. If that's the one you're talking about, I can tell you right now, mileage isn't everything, but at Walmart you start out at it's 60 some cents a mile or something. So again, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I thought about doing comparison videos. I could call this company and be like, what do you pay? What's your vacation? What's your benefits? What's your home time? And find out all the things a driver wants to know, and then do like in a boxing match, tit for tat. Who gets the point? Who gets the most points at the end of the match? Can Walmart be defeated? I don't think I'm going to find too many jobs, or any jobs, that can beat what Walmart has to offer when it comes to, like I said, I had the bariatric surgery that would have cost me $35,000. Walmart covered it. There's not many insurance companies covering bariatric surgery. And I get the skin removal afterwards. Nobody covers that. My understanding is Walmart's going to cover that too. So I don't know. It's going to be tough to beat Walmart. Ace says Yellow doesn't have enough money to keep running after July. See, that's what I was hearing too. They're trying to restructure all the contracts, or they're going to have to file bankruptcy. Yellow and YRC, they've been around forever. I mean, they're probably one of the older companies out there, and they're going to go bankrupt. So it's tough. So Dale, I don't know if that was the Continental you were thinking of. Skinny, you're in Florida and you want to move to Texas. Wow. Okay. You're the guy wanting to become a driver. After your 30 months, you may get in at Walmart in Texas or Florida, but Texas and Florida are the two hardest locations to get into, because every Walmart driver gets in and then transfers there. They don't have openings very often. So you're gonna have to get your 30 months, then you're gonna have to get in at Walmart somewhere that you can get in, get one more year in at Walmart, then you can transfer anywhere that has an opening. Dustin Clark, you're one of my people. I think you're on my spreadsheet. That name sounds very familiar. I don't have access to my spreadsheet right now. You applied a few weeks ago, still haven't received a call. I believe you were the one that was in Arkansas. And I think I sent you back an email letting you know that you picked probably the third hardest location to get into because they don't have many openings. And when I talked to that recruiter, I think they told me that was the one where they had over 1,000 applications for a place that was only looking for 20 drivers. So I don't know if that's going to be the location you're going to be able to get into. If you can look somewhere else nearby, get in a year, then transfer back to where you need to be, that might have to be what you're going to have to do, or stay where you are or go somewhere else. I mean, I hate to say that because I think Walmart's great and I think you would love it here, but I understand if you can't get in, you can't get in. Skinny, I think it'll be weird for the first time because I'm an introvert and a homebody, but I like driving. Oh, then you're going to make a great truck driver because you're not going to have to deal with people other than when you go to the window and you got to hand somebody your paperwork. And a lot of times now you don't have to do that. You may talk to somebody at a guard check. You may get paperwork, hand paperwork. You bump a dock, do whatever you got to do. They're going to unload you, load you, whatever you got to do. The only guy you're going to talk to is back at the gate. Outside of that, sweet talking to waitress to get an extra cup of coffee or something might be the only thing you got to worry about. You don't have to see nobody. A lot of guys can't handle driving a truck because they can't handle the solidarity. It's like being in solitary confinement in prison. You don't have anybody to talk to. That's why a lot of guys didn't like the Walmart policy when they had, you could only talk for 10 minutes at a time and 1 hour a day. And especially us guys that work midnights. If we got buddies out there, we want to talk to them all night long because we get bored. It helps keeps us awake. Dustin, I don't know if you need to reapply. I think you're still in the system. I think I gave you that hotline number. Call that hotline and find out if they know anything. Let me know what they say, and then I'll try to find out what I can find out for you. If you're talking about reapplying to another location nearby just to get that 1 year in, you can do that whenever you want. For those of you that weren't here earlier, if you're in the Southeast, if you're looking to get in, Florida's not open right now, but they are looking. These are not online, by the way. You have to email me. But if you're looking to get in, you can get in at Brundidge, Douglas, Lagrange, Shelby, or Pageland right now. And then what you do is apply anywhere else that you find a spot. Email me. I will contact that recruiter and let him know, hey, you got to send me your name that you used on the application, the email address you used on the application, and the location you want to go to. When you send me that email, I will forward that information to the recruiter. That recruiter will pull your application from that other location and bring you into the location you want to be on. He told me that this is another one of these things I've gotten in friendly with this recruiter. These are not online. You have to go through me, or unless he's told another driver this, you have to go through me to get these, which I love the guy for doing that because it gets me referrals, and that's just awesome. But anyway, Ronald, you're a third-party driver in a DC in McClenny, Florida. God, that's a hard one to get into. It's so small. I almost transferred to there. My dad lives in, he lived in Lake Placid. Now he's buying an RV and he's going to travel the country until he passes away because his health is kind of on the side, and he wants to go see the country before something happens and he can't do it. Want a copy of my pre-trip guide? Yeah, I give that to anybody that asks for it. You're only 4 months shy of the experience. Okay. You can email me, drkaraoke at dj@gmail. And I will send you, I'm going to write it down so you can see it, drkaraokedj@gmail.com. Okay, so hopefully this isn't backwards. Hopefully this works. It's going to be backwards. Shit. All right. Well, I'll put it in the description when I'm done with this video. Hopefully you were able to hear me say it and you could write it down or whatever. Send me an email. I send anybody the pre-trip that wants it. I was accused last month that I only give out the pre-trip to people who use me as a referral. If that was the case, I'd have 243 referrals because I've got that many names on this year's spreadsheet. I've only had, I'll say only, thankfully, I've gotten 16 referrals this year. 243 guys that have contacted me. I've given out 243 pre-trip guides. That's not the case. If anybody wants it, I will give it to them. I also have a schedules guide, and I also have a frequently asked questions guide. So in case there's questions that haven't been answered today, I'll put that in the email as well. And I will write down on my thing, this guy needs 4 more months. When you get 3 months from now, when you get a month away, I will touch base with you and be like, hey, where are you wanting to go? Do this, do that, do this. The only problem you're going to have is you're not going to be based out of McClenny, because that one's hard to get into. I wasn't sure I was even going to be able to transfer there because it's so small and they may not have had any needs for a driver. Dustin, that number, I never gave you that. Email me. Send me a reminder because I know I'm going to forget. Shoot me an email from the conversation we had, letting me know you need that phone number. And I will say it's I think it's on the Drive for Walmart website. I'm not sure, but it's just a hotline number where you can check on stuff and they'll tell you your status, like, oh, you didn't do this, or you need to do that, or oh, everything's great, we're just waiting for a recruiter. And based on what they tell you, then I can contact a recruiter. The recruiters don't like me to send them questions. They like me to try to answer them for you. And then if I get stuck, send them the question so I'm not bombarding them, because I would be killing them with questions if I did that, which is why some of them are willing to help me because I help them. So you may not get down at McClenny. You may have to go to like Douglas. Douglas, Georgia is where a lot of guys go. They get in, they get their 1 year, then they transfer back if you live within 250 miles of Douglas. Otherwise, you got to relocate. Josh, you're new at Walmart. You're running out of Menominee, and you absolutely love it at Walmart. Good to hear. Yeah, again, I've had guys who didn't like it at Walmart. Very few, but it happens. I love Menominee, and my wife laughs every time I say that city. And I used to drive through there on my way to Minnesota when I did the window job because my route was based out of Minnesota. But Menominee is it's similar to the word that they say in Sesame Street because they got that Menominee, whatever that song is. So she laughs over because I had that song and I used to sing that to her and she'd get a kick out of it. So we laugh every time we see Menominee. But I assume Menominee, you probably get a lot of miles up there because I don't know if there's a lot of stores like here in Indiana. There's like 5 stores in Fort Wayne alone. I think there's 20 stores in Indianapolis. You guys probably get a lot of miles up there and a lot of road time because everything's spread out. The only problem is you might have to be on a lot of little back roads. I know the roads in Wisconsin are labeled like E, A, Y, Y, X, weird things that I don't understand because it's not like they're in alphabetical order either, I don't think. But anyway, I do love it up there. It's beautiful country. You drive in the daytime. I've seen bears in the middle of the road up there before. Ronald, thanks. I want to try to get in at Douglas, then either come back to McClenny or Achula. Yeah, the Achula is the other one I was looking at. If I'm not mistaken, is that the one that's just south of Lake City, Florida? I think right off of what's that interstate? Whatever the interstate is over there, 75. Robert sent you the pre-trip guide in December. Yeah, like I said, Robert, I don't even know if you used me as a referral. That your name doesn't sound familiar like it was on my spreadsheet. So ran some loads out of Douglas. Staff there is wonderful. Good. That's the only complaint that I have had with guys at Walmart. And I honestly think that it's a DC to DC thing. When you hear guys talk about, oh, they micromanage me. Oh, they do this. Oh, the people there are shitty. Oh, the drivers are reporting other drivers for doing crap. There's only a couple of DCs that I am seeing a recurrence of that kind of stuff, and it's out of California. And I don't want to say the DCs because I can't verify that stuff's true. I'm just seeing a pattern, and that would just be me hypothetically speaking. I can't prove it. But, yeah, so if you can get in Douglas, that one usually has openings because guys go in and transfer. So Douglas does tend to need guys. Wow, we're at the 2 hour mark, guys. I do have to get off here because I do have some other things I need to do. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I mean, I hope this helped. I did the live because I wasn't sure if anybody needed this. We've had some good discussions. It seems like things, I've had some good questions. Is it better to have connections in the industry than none? Your brother-in-law is an owner-operator, has 2 trucks. Dude, now you drop the owner-operator, you could go get experience with him and avoid so many pitfalls if he can hire you. Now, that's going to be based off of insurance. I was never an owner-operator. I did look into it at one point, right before I came to Walmart. If he's got a good enough, if he's got his own authority and a good enough DOT number and he's in good withstanding with his insurance company, you're welcome, B. You never said anything, so hopefully I helped you with something today. I think my wife's getting ready to come check on me. I hear the door. But yeah, Skinny, if your brother-in-law can put you in a truck and I hate to say it this way, but baby you, I mean, because that's technically what it's going to be. You got somebody helping you, and then you get your 30 months in. You may not, I'll be honest, you may not leave his job. If he's an owner-operator and he can give you good loads and he can give you good pay and he can do some things for you because it's family, that might not be a bad spot to be in. I mean, that could be a great spot. Yeah, Robert. I didn't look forward to that in the beginning. About 6 months after doing this, I had a guy come up to me and go, "Oh, you're the guy from YouTube." And I'm like, "Oh, that was kind of weird." But now it happens so often, I'm kind of used to it. And now I'm kind of like, this is kind of cool, I'm like a minor Walmart celebrity or something. But I've had somebody mention that I should get the little YouTube sticker put on the door of my truck since I have my own truck now at Gas City, so people can go look me up. But my boss even thought it was cool because I was sitting in the break room the other day, and a guy walked up to me and goes, "Hey," he goes, "You're Rich, right?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "My name's such and such." He goes, "You sent me a pre-trip guide." I said, "Oh, great." I said, "Well, apparently it worked. It helped. You're here." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Great info." He goes, "I greatly appreciate it." He goes, I used somebody else as a referral. He goes, I said, "No, man, no, it's all good. I don't care about I get enough by happenstance that I'm happy with what I get. I'm very happy with what I get. Like I said, to get 16 in 1 year, I'm extremely thrilled with that. It'd be nice to get 245, but whatever. It's all good. So he came up with just, "Hey, I just want to say thanks. I watched your videos. I learned a lot. You really helped me out, blah, 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 blah. I just want to say I appreciate it. I couldn't give you a referral for your help." And I'm like, "Dude, it's all good." I didn't know my boss was standing around the corner and heard that conversation with that guy. And he came out to me a little bit later and he goes, "Dude," he goes, "that was really cool." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Because this was like 20 minutes ago. I'd forgotten about it. He goes, "That guy from Seymour came up to you and was talking to you about your YouTube channel." I said, "Yeah, that was kind of cool." That was the first time somebody's came up to me like that. I've had guys that were, like referrals of mine that have tried to come to Gas City to be like, "I wonder if I'm going to run into Rich." I've had those guys. That was the first time that a guy just happened to run into me that wasn't a referral, that just whatever. So yeah, it's kind of cool to meet some of you guys that I've helped out, because like I said, I never really thought about this being a thing. It was just, I'm going to put up a video, and if it helps somebody, great, because I was looking for that info when I started and all that kind of stuff. And apparently it helps more than I thought. I guess I'm affecting people more than I realized. I'm just doing a dumb video for people to get stuff. So, but it was cool. Because I said so. Which type of DC would you think it's easier to get a daytime schedule? That would be GM. A lot of GM facilities run either starting at 6, 7, 8, or 9 a.m. Grocery, you may run midnights. The guy that I just mentored that I talked about earlier, Ship's Gonna Happen. Holy crap, I can't believe I forgot that. That's the name of that podcast. You guys can find it anywhere. It's some guys in the trucking industry. They work on the logistics side of things, but they interview truck drivers from all over the world. They do YouTube videos and they do a podcast on any platform, or you can go to shipsgonnahappen.com. They're going to be so mad at me because I'm a Hall of Fame member of their podcast and the name just escaped me. So hopefully they never see this video or they're going to be mad at me. Anyway, sorry, cuz yeah, GM, they run mostly mornings. And then after that, like I mentioned before, I'm going to have to do the GM versus grocery so that you guys can understand. Because once you get your load there, you get sent to a DC, you get sent to a store. You might leave, Indiana and go to Menominee and drop a load, go from Menominee and go to Iowa and drop a load. You go all over. It's a lot more like being an over-the-road driver, which, Robert, do you run grocery? Is that maybe something you should think of instead of leaving Walmart? Maybe find a GM facility that you get to travel more? Just a thought off the top of my head, because I know when I was running GM, I was in Pennsylvania, I was in Wisconsin, I was in London, Kentucky, I was in Nashville. I mean, I was everywhere, all over the place. But yeah, easier to get a morning schedule out of GM because grocery runs midnights. The guy that I was talking about mentoring, his channel, Tyler Daffron, he got a 1600 out time, which is what, 4 in the afternoon or something like that. So at grocery, it could be 24 hours a day because we do different things. With GM, you're just hauling general merchandise. There's no different patterns. So Skinny, yeah, dude, talk to your brother-in-law, man. You've got a great in. Even if you never come to Walmart, I hope you all the best, man. If I'm ever looking for a job, I might look you up. I found out before I started the associated program. Thanks for all the info. Ace, I don't know what you were referring to. I am terribly sorry. What was it what did you find out? Going overnight, CDT is going to... Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that comment. CDT is going to stay in a hotel where you guys stay in a truck? Oh, that's not... Wow. Okay. Huh. All right, interesting. Well, let's see how that goes. They may change that after they get into it and realize nobody likes that and people complain a bunch. Unless they're paying the CDT a little extra to stay in the hotel. Maybe they're making it better. Well, no, because the CDT gets to sleep in the hotel bed as to where the associate has to sleep in the truck. Maybe they're making them get used to it. I gotta talk to Sean. If you guys watch my Sean video, I gotta call Sean, my fleet development guy down in Seymour, and talk to him and see how they're doing that. Yeah, Skinny, if you are about seeing beautiful places, working for your brother-in-law is going to do that for you. I miss that. It's the one thing I miss about working at Walmart. I wish I could go see the Washington River where it meets Oregon and Washington and drive that route again. Gorgeous country out there. I miss driving through Wisconsin, coming from Duluth down to Chicago and taking the smaller routes through Wisconsin. Beautiful country up there. I miss that stuff. I wish I could do it again. But yeah, at Walmart, you're not going to be able to do that. It sounds like you need to go work for your brother-in-law. And in 30 months from now, if you decide, hey, I want to make more money, or if he can't offer you the 6% match dollar for dollar on your 401k, either Roth or IRA, or if he can't give you good medical insurance with the programs that Walmart has, I mean, if he can't give you all the stuff that you want and you need those things, Walmart's there for you. Otherwise, dude, you're probably going to work for your brother-in-law. I'll probably never see you. And good luck. Because, like I said, I'm not mad that people don't want to come to Walmart. It may not be for them, but it's a great job. It's a great job. Did pay enough, started on days, moved to nights, work less, make 100 more at night. Make 100 more at night. Okay, so you're talking about the 7 cents per mile extra that you get for working midnights, because I do that too. Started on days, went to nights. Okay. Didn't pay enough. Not sure which one you're asking about. I think GM and grocery make about the same. A lot of people say GM makes more, but because we get more activities on the grocery side, if you can get a lot of bam, 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 grocery makes really good money because of they pay so much now for the activities. So I'm not sure. Um, Robert, I'm not sure what you mean by didn't pay enough. Driving for Walmart didn't, or driving owner operated didn't. I'm not sure what you mean. Or days didn't pay enough. I'm not sure what you mean. Um, Giant Gin Medina. I'm not sure how to say that name. I apologize. Um, Zero. Oh, so you're out of Seymour then. You talked to Sean from down there because you're in the program. Josh says we always stayed in a motel every night during the mentor phase. Really? My understanding was that during the associate program that you guys were going to be back every day because you're just running low. They're a GM facility. Of course you're not going to be back every day. Maybe that's you stumped me. Now I got to talk to Sean and ask him because apparently that was never supposed to be the case. When they started this a year ago and they were bringing it out, you guys were only supposed to go out and back and stay at the hotel right there in Seymour. The CDT was supposed to go home because they were local. I don't know. I wonder how the CDTs feel about that. I'm going to call Sean and ask him about it, just because I'm curious. It may not ever make it in a video, but I'd like to know. So you guys already stayed during the mentor phase. Oh, mentor phase. Okay, wait a minute. You're talking mentor phase as in like the guy that I just mentored, that 2 weeks. Yes, that time the mentors will stay in the hotel because they're usually not close enough to drive back and forth. If the mentor lived close to the DC when we got back, he could stay in a hotel. During the mentor phase, absolutely. We do not try to keep you out on the road. We come back, we stay in the truck because that's our normal spot anyway, and then you guys go to the hotel down the street. I was thinking during the associate to driver training, maybe that's where I was confused. Onboarding is different. It's not different every state. It's different for each region. In the Eastern region, you're probably going to end up in Lawrence, South Carolina. In the Midwest, you're going to end up at either Seymour, Indiana, or Spring Valley, Illinois. You may end up if you're more in the Southern Midwest, you may end up at the home headquarters in Bentonville, Arkansas. I think it's Bentonville where they do it. There's also one in Utah, not Gainesville, some big long name in Utah. That's for the people on the West Coast. I think there might be one in Texas. I don't remember. Oh, move to days so you can travel. It didn't pay enough on days. Oh, I got you. So, okay. So, Robert, you are a GM driver then? That's what I was talking about earlier. If you switch to GM, you might get to see more. If you're grocery, you're not going to go very far because you only go a 250-mile radius and you come back. Associate to driver program training is only one night because they're trying to get us used to sleeping in the truck. Huh. So you guys come back to the DC every day, but the associate, or I'm sorry, the CDT gets to either stay in the hotel or go home if they live close, and then you guys are getting used to staying in the truck. I was going to say, that's the only reason I could see is making you guys get used to being in the truck. Okay. Josh, my apologies. I missed the associate to driver I'm not in the associate driver program. I came with experience. Your phone started to lag, so you missed the associate to driver talk. We've actually talked about it a couple different times. Not sure where you're at or what you're wanting, but yeah, you don't want GM. You like the London DC and the people there. Yeah, the one time I worked out of the London DC for a couple days. Because I was at Seymour, I was running GM, but they had me out of there for like 3 days in a row. I liked London. I really did. I thought about moving down that way, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm kind of thinking I might do the fleet development facilitator and go work in Seymour, but I'm not sure. The problem is if I would take a management position, I lose those referrals. That could be a lot of money I'm leaving on the table. And I don't mind driving. I like what I'm doing. So the management position would only possibly be a step up into something else. So, but yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you don't want GM, then yeah, you're not going to see much more than you're going to see what you're seeing now. So driving nights at the grocery DC is where you need to be. I'm sorry. Somebody asked me a question a minute ago. I meant to get to, was it B? B, is Grocery Indiana. Okay, Seymour, Indiana is GM. The Gas City, where you might end up, is Grocery. Sorry, I forgot. I got sidetracked. My phone just said I'm live. Haven't I been live the whole time? Did I just lag? Anyway, no, just joining in. Do you know much about the Hopkinsville, Kentucky, DC? A little bit. Seymour, GMDC is awesome. Ace, yes, I loved Seymour. The only reason I left there is because it's 5 hours from my house, and they didn't tell me that Gas City was available when I joined, because I live in Northwest Indiana, and there is no DC in my area. Spring Valley, Illinois, which is like 2.5 hours away, and I got to go through Illinois and Chicago and Joliet. I didn't want all that. I could just skip across Indiana, not have to go through Indianapolis and get to Gas City, so I went there. Hopkinsville. B, you're welcome. I'm so glad you're still here, and you got your answer to your question. I'm so sorry about that. So Hopkinsville, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on it. I don't know a lot, AJ. I wish I could help you more with that. I think it's a grocery DC. I've been there a couple times, just running loads out of there. People seemed nice enough. They were running was it Schneider? They were running a third party out of there at the same time when I was there. So, yeah. Okay, so B, yeah, Dave, when you talk to Dave, I'm telling you, Dave, Jason at Seymour is nice, but I swear that Dave out of Gas City has wings that you can't see in a halo stuck somewhere, because he's the nicest guy I've ever worked for, nicest boss I've ever had, nicest guy in general. I mean, this guy, it should be against the law how nice this guy is. He's insane. I love the guy to death. I'd do anything for him. But yeah, Hopkinsville, I think it's grocery. I think they had a third party running out of there for a little while. The people were nice. It was a nice enough place. Robert, it might be GM. I don't remember. I really don't remember. If you run on Google Maps and Google Map Hopkins and look in and kind of do like the survey, like from the road, if you can see reefers, then it's a grocery. Otherwise, it's GM. Oh, so you got a chance to go to Seymour. B, if Seymour works for you and you want to do it, go for it. You could have asked CJ, and I kind of got in trouble because you're a message from you that I sent her. I guess they want me. I guess I'm supposed to take that through Dave now instead of going directly to that recruiter. I didn't get in any trouble, but Dave just called me and he's like, hey, from now on, if you got questions or if you got situations with drivers, bring them to me if they're in this area. Okay, no problem. That's all that came of it. But it was your email that sparked that conversation. So you can email her back or contact her back, however she contacted you, and say, hey, I'd kind of like to work out of Gas City if that's what you want to do. Seymour is great. Seymour is you're going to see more locations. It's weird, Seymour, because you're going to get to go farther. You're not going to be stuck with that 250-mile radius. It's different because you're going to do a lot of different stuff. You might fill in as a grocery driver at Gas City one day. You might run GM freight. You might go to Wisconsin. You might go to Nashville. You might go to Tennessee. You might go to Pennsylvania. GM, you're going to be all over the place. It's never the same thing, never the same store. Can't really get used to a whole lot. At grocery, they only run 250-mile radius from their DC, so you're going to see the same stores all the time. You're going to know the same things, all that kind of stuff. Wildcard driver. Oh, is that what your logo is? That supposed to be? Is that what? Because I just saw Ace Zero. Is that your nickname? Or I'm not sure. Sorry. Do I know if they're trying to remove the third-party drivers out of the grocery DC in Monroe, Georgia? Let me write that down. I have not heard anything about Monroe. I do know some people down there, and the recruiter that works that area, I am able to talk to. He is very friendly and doesn't mind if I email him with stupid questions like this. So I try not to do it, but this is a good question. Outside carriers. I will try to find out and let you know if you can, Ronald. I don't know if this works on your guys. On my camera, it's backwards. My email, drkaraokedj@gmail.com. Send me an email and remind me to ask that question, and I will try to respond and get you an answer for that. But yeah, B, if you want to run GM, take the Seymour job. The people there are nice. Jason, the boss there, is fantastic. They have better cookouts. They get state cookouts way more often than we do at Gas City for some reason, but they're a much bigger DC. The other thing about it, working out of a bigger DC, is the way PTO works at Walmart is they're not supposed to have more than 10% of the workforce out at any one time. So at Gas City, we only have 175 drivers, which means they can only have about 17 drivers out on PTO at any point in time. So if you call to get a PTO day, they have to check to make sure that you're not the 18th plus driver asking for that day off during peak seasons. Seymour is trying to get their 250 or 300th driver, whatever it is. So that's 30 drivers that can be off at a time. You have a better chance of maybe getting a PTO day, but it's not that big a deal. Only once have I been refused a PTO day at Gas City, and that's because we were heavy on freight, they were offering extension bonuses, and we were short drivers that night. And they were like, we just can't do it. Do you have to have the day off? And I was like, no, I just wanted the day off to go I think I wanted to go camping with the wife for a 3-day weekend. And I was like, no, it's just me wanting to take a day off. They're like, then we can't do it. And that's the only time I was refused a day off. So that's the only thing. No, I mean, going everywhere, they call it wild card driver at a grocery DC. Oh, okay. Oh, I'd never heard that before. Okay. Yeah, that's funny. All right. Yeah, a captured driver. Yeah, we kind of are. We come back to the zoo every night before it closes. Go sleep in our truck on our sleep line. Get ready for the next day. I'll be going back and watching from the start when I get time. Yeah, no problem, AJ. I appreciate it. Just so you know, I make my channel's monetized, and I make money for every minute that you guys watch stuff, which I made $133 this year off my YouTube channel. Woo! Hey, I mean, $133. It was still pretty cool. The fact that I'm making money off people watching my videos it feels dumb. It feels weird. I don't get it, but it's cool. But what I do on most of my videos is I try to, in the description, I try to go back, watch the video, and write down the timestamp of when I changed a subject matter. So look at the description. If there's a bunch of information, you watch the whole video, great. If you only want to find one piece of information that I have listed, then at least you know kind of what the topics are about. You may not want to watch every video. I'm not trying to waste your time. So, but yeah, guys, we're over 2 hours. I've got to get off here because I've got to get going. I got some things I got to get done here. So I appreciate you guys checking in. Maybe we'll do this again. Maybe I'll do it every 2 or 3 months. If I've got big news coming up or things like that, maybe I'll do another live. Maybe there's other people that'll see this video. And I think there was a way I could have made it to where it would have alerted you guys and you couldn't subscribe to the video and all that kind of stuff. I'll figure that out. I really am not I'm not a media guy. I'm not what do they call them people that content creator. I'm not that guy, but I do the best I can to get you the information I can in the least boring a manner. So would rather do groceries, stay closer to the home base, but I would frequently do Seymour if Gas City was okay. Yeah, I believe Gas City is going to be an option to you. Let CJ know that you're looking at Gas City, that you spoke to Dave and he was supposed to call you. And she'll send Dave a message and be like, hey, I got a driver that said you were supposed to call him, and you have his phone number. If he doesn't respond in a couple days, like he said, just shoot him another text message. Dave's the nicest guy. He's not going to be bothered. He'll actually be upset that he forgot to get back to you, not that you texted him again. So he's awesome. No problem. Yep. Ace. Yeah. Like I was talking to Robert earlier, I'm kind of interested in meeting some of you guys now. If you guys were all close, maybe we could do a breakfast, because that's another thing drivers do. This is so cool. And I wish I could do this, but I don't live close to the DC. Is the drivers, I think it's in California, one driver said, hey, drivers, I'm going to be doing a breakfast for drivers at Cracker Barrel in whatever town. Anybody wants to come on out. and they all get together and just get together as Walmart drivers and shoot the shit and have breakfast together and just commemorate because what is that word? Because memory, whatever it is, they get together. Yeah. So I would love to do something like that. If you, I mean, a lot of you guys look like you're in the Indiana area. I don't know if you guys would want to drive that far. These guys are all super local, I think, but it's pretty cool. I'd kind of want to do something like that. But anyway, if you guys have any questions or if you have any thoughts or if you guys got video ideas or whatever, shoot me an email. I'll do what I can for you. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Yeah. Till next time. Peace. I don't even know how to shut this off. Oh, God, I don't know how to shut it off. Shit. All right, there's got to be a way to turn this off. There we go.